Khloe Miller stared at Leo Shepherd, her eyes blinking as her expression shifted from surprise to indignant embarrassment. Finally, she launched herself forward, burying her head in his chest like a battering ram. "Are you serious?" she grumbled, her voice muffled against his shirt. "It's one thing for Maya to say stuff like that, but you too?" Leo winced, rubbing his chest with a strained smile. "I was just joking. What's with the headbutt? You turning into a rocket-powered turtle? Oomph. I think she's been brainwashing you." Khloe pinched his cheek to vent her frustration. "Leo the pig, you're getting so much dirtier. You never used to be like this." "1. That's because your best friend is such a good teacher. You're usually so proper. I'm starting to lose interest. Maybe you should take a few lessons from her." "Not recommended." 2. Isn't it obvious? Haven't you heard what the experts say? When a guy is with his girlfriend, the hornier he gets, the more beautiful she is. Strongly recommended. 3. Baby, I can't wait anymore. Tonight, you and Maya can be my sandwich cookie. I'll be good to you forever, I promise. Not recommended. Option 2 analysis. A confident, flirty line is often surprisingly effective on a girl who doesn't always say what she means. A damn sandwich cookie. But the thought, planted by option 3, sparked a series of vivid images in Leo's overactive imagination. "Isn't it obvious?" he said, snapping back to reality with a completely straight face. "Haven't you heard what the experts say? When a guy gets horny around his girlfriend, it just proves how beautiful she is. And we're still young." He leaned in, his voice dropping. "If I can't get worked up around you when you're at your most beautiful, what's going to happen when we're old? Am I going to be left alone with my imagination?" You're impossible. How can you talk to me about something like that?" Khloe knew exactly what he meant by being left alone with his imagination, and she scrambled to cover his mouth, a mix of shame and anger on her face. But the corner of her lips was curled into a triumphant little smile. Leo caught her flailing arms, a grin spreading across his face. "But you knew what I meant, didn't you? We're on the same wavelength." Khloe's face was flushed as she glared at him. "Leo the pig, if I turn into someone weird, it's going to be all your fault." You can count on me," he laughed, deciding not to tease her any further. Feeling pleased with himself, he leaned over and kissed her warm, rosy cheek before getting up and heading toward the kitchen. He wouldn't rush things. Knowing Khloe's tendency to say one thing and mean another, he figured it was only a matter of time before she came around. She was a 2004 vintage college kid, a high-level internet user. Even if she was completely devoted to him, her mindset wasn't going to be overly traditional. With a little coaxing from him and Maya, plus the fact that the three of them were inevitably going to be living together, she'd probably agree with a little push. It was just a matter of who was on top and who was on the bottom. Someone with a truly traditional mindset, like Lily Reed, would be a different story. Leo could talk until he was blue in the face, and she'd never agree to such an outrageous idea, even though, among all his girlfriends, she was the one who loved him the most. Just then, Leo stopped in his tracks. He could hear Khloe's internal struggle. "Well, that vixen is going to be living with us eventually anyway, and Leo the pig seems to be okay with it." "No, wait, he's definitely okay with it." Leo turned back. Khloe was staring at him, her expression a perfect blend of indignation and embarrassment. The way she looked like she wanted to say something but couldn't, combined with that resentful little pout, was impossibly cute. What is it?" Leo's voice was tense with excitement. He had never imagined that the normally proud and possessive Khloe would actually be hesitating over something like this. He knew her too well. The more she hesitated, the more likely she was to choose the very thing that was making her hesitate. All she needed was a reason, an excuse to let things happen. Maybe if he put in a little effort, coaxed her a bit more, his girlfriend would really agree to make him a sandwich cookie with her best friend. "Nothing," Khloe snapped, turning her head away with a proud, shy motion, as if he'd read her mind. Her dark, silky ponytail swung with the movement. "Baby, what did I do to make you mad now?" Leo sat back down beside her, feigning helplessness. He wrapped his arms around her soft body and began to patiently soothe her. You know what you did?" she mumbled. Khloe would never complain about being affectionate with her boyfriend. In fact, she loved the sweet, intimate moments they shared, especially after they'd been apart for so long. "Was it because I broke my promise to come back and see you sooner?" Leo guessed, intentionally getting it wrong. He made a solemn vow. "Once I'm done with this busy stretch, I'll stay home just for you. Didn't you say you wanted to go to Aspen to see the ice sculptures? As soon as I'm free, I'll take you and Maya." "Really?" Khloe looked at him, her beautiful face a mask of skepticism. "Really? The second I'm done, I promise." He kept his words intentionally vague. After all, he was the one who decided how busy his work was. You better not be lying to me again. Khloe wrapped her arms around his thick waist and lifted her stubborn little face, her voice tinged with grievance. It's been so long since you've taken me out anywhere. The world is a tough place. If I pick up a brick, I can't hold you. If I put down the brick, I can't provide for you. Leo leaned down and kissed his little girlfriend. How about this? He asked, testing the waters. I'll sell the company right now, and we can just travel for a few years. No, you've worked so hard to build this company. You can't just sell it. Besides, I'm not a child. I don't need you with me every single day, she said, shaking her head decisively. Her tone was serious. Leo the pig, we're adults now. We have to face the pressures of life sometimes. Don't say such childish things again. Leo sighed dramatically. I'm only this childish with you. That just proves how charming I am, she said happily, snuggling deeper into his arms. She loved these tender moments with him. After a few minutes of quiet affection, Leo couldn't help but ask, Khloe, what did you think about what I said earlier? The mood was so nice. Why are you bringing that up again? Khloe's face instantly turned red again, and she buried her face in his chest, complaining. I just mean, since we're all going to be living together eventually, we might as well. Together. Together what? Khloe shot up, jutting out her lower lip and glaring at him with a fierce, kittenish look. Leo wasn't scared in the slightest. He knew his girlfriend had already caved. She just needed a way to save face. He spoke seriously. If you don't want to, I won't force you. I respect your decision. Oomph. Her aggressive posture softened considerably. After a long hesitation, she finally mumbled shyly, it feels so. Don't you think it's weird? It feels like something out of a movie. What's the big deal? It's not like she's a stranger. You and Maya have known each other for years. You're all going to be living together anyway. So what's there to be awkward about? Recommended 2 is awkward. It'll be my first time. And right now, I'm more concerned about whether you'll be on top or on the bottom. Not recommended 3. You've hit on the key point. Filming movies is my specialty. We should record it for posterity. Not recommended option 1 analysis. Since you're all going to live together anyway, the brave get to enjoy the world of 3 first. What's the big deal? It's not like she's a stranger. Leo shrugged nonchalantly. You and Maya have known each other for years. You're going to be living together anyway. So what's there to be awkward about? That's not what I'm talking about. It's just, Khloe stammered, her face beet red, unable to bring herself to describe that kind of thing. I said, what are you two whispering about over there? Maya appeared, carrying a bowl of hot soup. She looked at the two of them huddled on the couch with annoyance. I've been slaving away in the kitchen. The least you could do is help me bring out the dishes. It's nothing. Khloe was just saying she's ready to, MMPH. Before Leo could spill the beans, Khloe shot up from the couch like a spring, clamping her hand over his mouth and forcing a nervous laugh. Nothing. He's just about to come help you. What are you two plotting now? Maya gave them a suspicious look, set the soup on the table, and went back into the kitchen. Leo the pig, are you trying to get killed? Khloe smacked him lightly. Were you really about to tell Maya about that? Fortune favors the bold, Leo retorted matter-of-factly. I'm planning on taking care of you both for the rest of our lives. Besides, you already agreed. You expect me to make you be the one to bring it up. Khloe's face was scorching. When did I agree to anything? Look, I'll be the one to bring it up. You just pretend you don't know anything. Leo knew his girlfriend would never admit she'd been thinking about it, so he gave her an easy out. You could just join in when the time comes. You, pervert, deviant porn director. The more she listened, the more embarrassed she got, throwing every insult she could think of at him. She even tried to kick him, but he caught her by the ankle and tickled her foot. It's too cold for ice cream. I'm gonna go give Maya a hand. Watching her boyfriend's triumphant exit, Khloe clenched her delicate fists and made a few threatening gestures at his back. Once he was gone, she hugged a throw pillow, her heart pounding as her mind filled with images of the three of them in not-so-harmonious situations. Is this really going to happen? She whispered, both nervous and embarrassed. Seriously? In the kitchen, Maya was stunned after Leo told her about Khloe's thoughts. Khloe's personality had always been so proud. Willing to share Leo with her was already the biggest concession imaginable. Maya had never thought Khloe would be anything but opposed to something like this, let alone be secretly intrigued. Well, we're all going to be living together anyway. I don't think it's a big deal, Leo said. He was just as nervous, but at a critical moment like this, he had to take the lead or the three of them would never reach a consensus. Looks like it's going to rain. Leo glanced at the dark clouds gathering outside. I'm going to go bring in the laundry. Are you going to come over tonight? I'll think about it, Maya mumbled shyly. While she liked a bit of excitement, this was way beyond her experience. She wasn't some worldly movie star. How could she be expected to accept something like this on a moment's notice? Okay, Leo didn't press the issue and carried the dishes out of the kitchen. For a moment, the three of them, in different parts of the house, were all filled with a palpable tension, like the low rumble of thunder rolling through the clouds outside. By dinner time, the rain still hadn't started, but the thunder was growing louder and the wind was picking up, its howls audible through the windows. Usually, when the three of them ate together, the table was filled with the two girls chatting about the latest internet memes or playfully teasing each other, making Leo laugh. The atmosphere was always relaxed and happy. But now, the table was uncharacteristically silent. The only sound was the clinking of chopsticks against porcelain bowls. Of course, even though the girls weren't saying anything, their minds were racing with enough questions to fill a book. Why does Maya keep giving me the weird look? Did Leo the pig tell her about that thing? If Maya comes over to sleep tonight and sends a party invite, do I accept or decline? Arg. This is so annoying. It's all Leo the pig's fault for even bringing it up. Now I feel like I have to say yes. And that vixen will definitely find a way to make me give in. I can't believe Khloe looks so innocent, but she's secretly a freak too. But for a team fight like this, how do you even send the party invite? Do I go to Khloe first or Leo? It hasn't even started yet, so why am I so nervous? Damn it, this feels so exciting. Hearing the girls' wild inner monologues, Leo finished his meal in silence and was the first to retreat to his room. It wasn't that the system hadn't offered him options to liven up the mood at the table. It was that he was just as nervous as they were. He had been on his laptop, writing for a while, having churned out over 20,000 words, when Khloe pushed the door open, clutching a pillow and pretending to be calm. Her eyes scanned the room, and she visibly relaxed when she saw that no one was next to Leo. She clearly hadn't been hoping for Maya to send a party invite tonight. Working on your manuscript? She asked, casually finding a topic as she slipped under the covers and snuggled up next to him. Normally, Khloe would never be this polite and composed. She would have bounced in, thrown back the covers, and jumped into bed, probably with some mischievous prank in mind. The topic they discussed today had clearly rattled her, making her uncharacteristically tense. Leo found her prim and proper act amusing, but simply nodded and turned to kiss her smooth forehead. Just finished. Let's watch that home and garden show, the one with the celebrity chef. I want to see the episode where he cooks green beans that went viral recently. By this time on a normal night, Maya would have already been in his bed, causing trouble. Since she hadn't shown up yet, Leo figured she was feeling too shy and probably wouldn't come over at all. He decided to find something to watch with his girlfriend. Okay. Khloe nodded happily, resting her head on his strong arm and draping her smooth, fair legs over his. They had only been watching for a few minutes when the door creaked open. Last night's thunderstorm had been so intense that the entire apartment complex was eerily quiet, as if the whole world had been washed clean by the downpour. Some people enjoy listening to the pitter-patter of a light rain while resting at home. But during a heavy storm, most people are the opposite. In the face of torrential weather, certain impulses swell to several times their normal size. The hyperactive brain has no desire for sleep. Things you normally lack the courage for, or would find shameful, suddenly become things you're willing to try, especially in a room where no one can see or hear you. For example, best friends Khloe Miller and Maya Pierce, on that night of thunder and lightning, both let themselves go completely. The next morning, Leo slowly opened his eyes. As his groggy mind gradually cleared, the first thing he felt was the sensation of two pairs of smooth, slender legs tangled haphazardly against his own legs and stomach. The next was the sound of soft breathing in his ear. His vision came into focus, and the first thing he saw was Khloe's exhausted but beautiful face. She was hugging him like a teddy bear, one of her fair, smooth legs thrown over his stomach. Leo turned his head to look behind him and smiled. He adjusted his position, lying flat on his back on the rumpled king-size bed. The thunderstorm had raged all night, only letting up at dawn. Sunlight now streamed through the gaps in the curtains, creating bright lines of light that crisscrossed the room like fine golden threads, composing a world-famous painting titled The Life of a Winner. Listening to the faint chirping of birds outside, seeing the bright white light, thinking back on the scenes from last night, and feeling the warmth of their skin under the sun, Leo let out a silent, goofy grin. It was a smile of pure, heartfelt joy. A colossal sense of satisfaction and achievement filled him. This was a far greater accomplishment than hitting Grandmaster for the first time, earning his first real money, or hitting on a girl for the first time. It wasn't until around noon that Khloe groggily woke up. Maya had been awake for a while, and was excitedly and playfully rehashing the events of last night with Leo, her descriptions extremely explicit and unrestrained. As Khloe listened, her face grew redder and redder, until she finally snapped in embarrassment. "You vixen, why don't you say it a little louder, so the neighbors can hear too?" The conversation came to an abrupt halt. Leo turned to Khloe with a wide grin. "Morning, sleepyhead." Unlike the mischievous Maya, Khloe was too embarrassed to openly discuss things like that with Leo, and he wasn't foolish enough to try and use it to set the mood. An unspoken understanding was best. It was better if no one brought it up, letting the event fade into a comfortable memory, so it wouldn't be so awkward the next time. "Hee, Khloe, are you hungry?" Maya draped herself over Leo, peeking over his shoulder with a radiant smile. Leo and I were about to order some delivery. "What do you want?" Khloe's heart was racing. She glanced over and quickly pushed her best friend's face away. Get dressed first." "Oh, come on. You were hugging me last night. What's there to be embarrassed about now?" Maya said, furrowing her brow. "Besides, it's just the three of us in this condo. No one else will know. Don't be so nervous, Khloe." Leo also offered some patient reassurance. "She's right, Khloe. This is just between the three of us. A fourth person will never find out." Khloe grumbled, a mix of shame and frustration. "If a fourth person ever finds out, I swear I'll drag you both down to the river and jump in with you." "Deal." Maya agreed cheerfully. "I'll jump in first, you second, and I'll catch you at the bottom, just like last night." You, shut up. Don't say another word." Khloe was so flustered she slipped into a folksy Idaho phrase, sitting bolt upright and reaching out to cover Maya's mouth. "Leo, your girlfriend is so mean." Maya laughed, dodging her. The two of them started wrestling right there in front of him, the scene both sensual and childish. "Khloe." Maya suddenly cupped Khloe's face and, before she could react, planted a quick kiss on her lips. "Thank you for putting up with me, again and again. And thank you for sharing Leo with me. From now on, whatever you say, I'll listen. I must have been cursed for 8 lifetimes to end up with a best friend like you." Khloe grumbled, wiping her lips. The words were dismissive, but her tone was one of gradual acceptance. "This is how it should be. Best friends forever. What's so bad about this? We don't even have to share a boyfriend anymore." Leo reached out, took both their hands, and pulled them into an embrace. He kissed each of them, and under their slightly stunned gazes, he made a heartfelt declaration. "Maya, Khloe, I'll be good to you both for the rest of my life. You're both my wings. Let's live a good life together from now on." It was a bright, sunny morning. Sunlight streamed through the curtains, and the time was already around 9 o'clock. The three of them got up one by one to wash up. After getting ready, Leo quickly gathered the things he needed for work, packing them neatly into his briefcase while thinking about his plans for the day. The end of the year was approaching, and Leo's new TV series was set to launch on streaming platforms during the holiday season. With everyone on vacation, the viewership numbers would naturally be much higher than usual. The recent weather wasn't great for traveling or going out, so most people would be staying home. For the entertainment industry, this was the golden hour. After packing his things, Leo opened the bedroom door and was immediately greeted by a fresh aroma from the kitchen. Maya, wearing an apron, was making breakfast. Every so often, she put down her spatula, lean against the counter, and scroll through TikTok on her phone, a happy smile gracing her lips. When the porridge in the pot was nearly done, she'd quickly put her phone aside and attend to the food, perfectly balancing work and play. These days, Maya was basically in charge of cooking, though only when Leo was home. When he was out, the two girls usually ordered delivery or drove out to eat. Khloe had complained countless times about her friend, who forgot all about her the second a guy was around. Khloe was on the balcony hanging laundry. The washing machine was still tumbling with last night's bedsheets. From behind, Leo could see the faint blush on Khloe's cheek. After all, she was handling the evidence of the previous night. Watching the two of them bustle about, Leo's thoughts paused. If nothing major happened, was this what their life together would look like from now on? A little unusual, a little warm, a bit mundane, and a bit intimate, but mostly harmonious. A life of unspoken, harmonious understanding between the three of them. "What's for breakfast?" Leo walked into the kitchen and peered into the pot with interest. Maya was frying an egg. "It's been cold lately, so I made some millet porridge. And also," Maya covered the steaming pot, took the toast out of the toaster, and then placed the freshly fried egg between the 2 slices of bread. She deliberately pressed them together a few times and said with a suggestive smile, "Your favorite." "A sandwich." "You're too much," Leo said, tapping her nose. He knew exactly what she was implying. Leaving the kitchen, Leo came face to face with Khloe, who had just finished hanging the clothes. They stood there for a few seconds, looking at each other in silence. Leo glanced at the clothes on the balcony and couldn't help but smile. "What are you smiling at, you idiot?" Khloe rushed over, her face flushed, and started lightly punching his chest. The blows weren't hard. She just wanted the jerk to shut up. She knew exactly why he was smiling. They had been together for so long that, without exaggeration, they could guess what the other wanted from a single gesture. "Yeah, this life isn't so bad," Maya said to herself, smiling contentedly as she watched the boiling porridge, listening to the playful sounds of the couple chasing each other in the living room. About half an hour later, the three of them were sitting around the dining table for breakfast. Maya was a good cook, and since she was also from Florida, her food was on the lighter side, which suited Leo's palate perfectly. "Here, Piggy, this is for you," Khloe said, nibbling away all the egg white from her sandwich before placing the yolk directly into Leo's bowl. Maya furrowed her brow and teased, You've chewed all over that." "Khloe, you're so gross. Giving that to Leo? What's wrong with it? We're a couple. Isn't it normal for a boyfriend to eat his girlfriend's leftovers?" Khloe didn't see anything wrong with it and huffed proudly. She wasn't trying to be mean to Leo. Like most modern girlfriends, she found it endearing when her boyfriend ate her leftovers. It made her feel pampered. And she didn't do it often, only when it came to egg yolks, which she genuinely hated. When there was something delicious, she was always the first to offer Leo a few bites. Sometimes Leo would deliberately eat it all in a few bites, just to see her get adorably mad. "One exactly. I'm Khloe's boyfriend, so it's perfectly normal for me to eat her leftovers. A single person like you just wouldn't get it. Not recommended too. All that aside, you really should change this habit of only eating the egg white. The yolk has way more nutrients than the white. Recommended 3. It's fine. I feed her my leftover protein all the time. It's only fair." Not recommended option 2 analysis. Reminding his girlfriend that the yolk is more nutritious is a subtle way of showing he cares about her daily well-being. "You really should change this habit of only eating the egg white," Leo said, not minding at all. He was used to it. He popped the yolk Khloe had given him into his mouth. "The yolk has way more nutrients than the white. I just don't like it. I think egg yolks are the most disgusting thing in the world, period," Khloe muttered stubbornly, taking small bites of her bread and sipping her porridge, a happy little expression on her face. It seemed she was very pleased with his response. "Picky eaters are always full of excuses," Leo said, then turned to Maya with a raised eyebrow. "You don't eat cilantro. What about you? Do you eat egg yolks?" After spending so much time with the two of them, Leo knew their eating habits and personalities like the back of his hand. These were the essential details for any successful player. Or, to put it more romantically, I know you better than you know yourself. Besides cilantro, I'm not that picky. But since you ate Khloe's, I want you to eat mine too. Maya used her chopsticks to pick out her egg yolk, held it up to Leo's mouth, and cooed, signaling for him to open up. Leo instinctively glanced at Khloe. She was pretending not to care, sipping her porridge while scrolling through TikTok. "Fine." Leo didn't overthink it, and ate the yolk Maya offered him in one bite. "Not be a hiss. Not bad." He was about to say something when a sharp, pinching pain shot through his thigh, making him suck in a sharp breath. He turned his head. Khloe was smiling innocently, slowly retracting her hand. "That pig. I knew I shouldn't have agreed to this last night. Now, they're not even trying to hide it from me." After spending about a week in Portland wrapping up post-production effects, Leo and his crew spent another month finishing the filming of the 30-episode historical fantasy series. But once the series was in the can, there was no time for rest. The promotional work fell squarely on his shoulders. Within a month, Leo, along with the cast and crew, attended no fewer than 10 press conferences, not to mention countless interactive events with various streaming platforms. As the new year approached, the temperature in Portland plummeted. A biting north wind howled as if an invisible hand had torn a gash in the sky, bringing a bone-chilling cold. Snowflakes drifted down, dancing like white butterflies in the air. In just a few days, the entire city was blanketed in white. The streets were nearly empty, most people choosing to stay indoors to escape the cold. Cars moved slowly on the snow-covered roads, their tires making crunching sounds as they rolled over the packed snow. But after surviving the cold night, the morning sun would peek through the thick clouds, its warmth a welcome and comfortable feeling. On one such cold morning, in the centrally heated Willow Creek Estates villa, Isabel Vance was already up early, making breakfast. In the bathroom, the two girls were lazily brushing their teeth. By the window, Lily Reed was on the phone, a sweet smile permanently on her lips. Leo had been working like crazy to promote the company's new series, only having time for a few brief chats with his girlfriends at night. They were all very understanding, knowing how swamped he was. They hardly ever bothered him, and that included Khloe. Even when Lily missed him desperately, she never disturbed his work. When the longing became too much, she would open TikTok and scroll through videos. Since Leo's marketing department had already started promoting the new series, her feed was filled with content about him. Lily rarely used TikTok, and since she mostly watched videos related to Leo's new show or his company, the algorithm fed her nothing but content about him. Every time she saw a video of him, the simple girl's mood would lift, and she would diligently like, comment, and share each one, trying to do her part to support her boyfriend's company. MHM, I know. The snow's heavy today, so drive safely, she said. After hanging up, her smile transformed into one of eager anticipation. He's coming for New Year's Eve. When will he be here? Isabel asked, turning her head. The awkwardness that once existed between them had faded with time. Now, their relationship was just as close as Khloe and Maya's. When Leo wasn't home, the two gentle, intelligent women would talk about their future and their lives. Lily tucked a stray strand of hair behind her ear, revealing a pretty face slightly flushed from the sun. He's almost at the entrance to the neighborhood. That boy knows how to time his arrival perfectly for a meal. Isabel teased with a smile, a happy curve to her own lips. When she was at home, she missed her not-so-serious young boyfriend just as much. Just then, the doorbell rang. Lily's face lit up, her eyes shining, and she hurried to open the door. Leo, I'm here to freeload for breakfast. Oh, he's not here yet. The person at the door wasn't Leo, but a curious Eleanor Hayes, flanked by her usual towering bodyguard. He's at the entrance to the neighborhood, Lily said, a flicker of disappointment crossing her face. But she quickly recovered and invited her in warmly. Come in, Eleanor. It's snowing hard out there. Thanks. Eleanor dismissed her bodyguard and followed Lily inside, acting prim and proper. In front of others, the wealthy young woman was always the picture of a well-behaved lady. Only in front of Leo did this woman become an uncontrollable deviant, her voice taking on an unervingly obsessive tone. Good morning, Eleanor, the two little girls chimed in unison. They had just finished washing up and were sitting at the living room table doing their winter break homework. They greeted Eleanor politely. You too. Eleanor ruffled their hair. How did you two do on your final exams? I got 100 on language arts, math, and English, Grace Reed said, her voice still soft, but with a hint of pride. Since joining this big family, Grace's personality had gradually opened up under the guidance of Isabel and Leo. But her voice, like her sister's, remained perpetually soft. I got 100 in ethics, Maddie said, clearly lacking confidence. Her scores in the main subjects combined didn't even match Grace's, so she had to bring up the one subject she'd done well in. That's awesome. Eleanor praised her, sounding genuinely surprised. Besides the main three, I never got 100 in ethics and civics when I was in elementary school. Ethics and civics tested common sense and social rules, areas Eleanor had little exposure to, so she'd rarely ever pass that class. You have a nerve to say that, Maddie, Isabel called out from the kitchen, accustomed to Eleanor's sudden use of rough language. Eleanor, who didn't have open book tests back then. The only reason she passed is because she could copy from the book. Hearing her mom call her out so bluntly, the little girl huffed unhappily and turned her back, pouting. Hee, that's still impressive. The wealthy girl ruffled Maddie's hair and whispered comfortingly, I'm impressed, and I bet Leo will think Maddie is very impressive too. Hee, really? The little girl's eyes sparkled. For some reason, out of everyone, it was Leo's praise that both girls craved the most. Of course, Eleanor said matter-of-factly, when he gets here, he'll definitely praise you. Okay. The little girl nodded emphatically. Just then, the doorbell rang again. A jolt went through everyone in the room. Lily started to get up to answer it, but Eleanor was faster, already dashing to the door. Lily and Isabel exchanged a look of resigned helplessness. Lily, did you miss me while I was? TCH, what are you doing here, you asshole? As the door swung open, Leo was about to greet Lily with a sweet nothing when his words reflexively changed to the familiar banter he shared with Eleanor. What the hell did you just say? Eleanor shot back, just as reflexively. Get out of the way. Don't block the door. Leo was completely used to Eleanor's fluent and gamer-age retorts. He pinched her soft cheek, pushed her aside, and strode eagerly into the living room. Eleanor didn't get angry. She just followed behind him with her hands clasped behind her back, a grin on her face as she secretly sized him up after so long. Her willow leaf eyes crinkled with happiness. After being away for so long, Leo seemed even more built. The daily exposure to the elements had tanned his skin, and the constant stress of work had even left him with a hint of stubble. The truth was, after all this time, Eleanor had missed him terribly. When she couldn't stand it anymore, she'd message him and ask him to call her just so he could curse her out for a few minutes. Thinking back on the past few weeks, a strangely lecherous expression crept onto her stunningly beautiful face. "Leo!" The two little girls cried out in unison. The moment Leo entered the living room, Maddie leaped from her chair and ran towards him with her arms outstretched, wanting to be picked up. Even the usually quiet and obedient Grace had a joyous, excited smile on her face. She had missed her long-absent big brother just as much. "Well now, whose little cuties are these?" Leo bent down and scooped both girls up, one in each arm, easily lifting them and giving them a little bounce. "All right, have Maddie and Grace been sneaking cake while I was away?" Leo kissed them both on their soft cheeks. "You're getting so heavy I can barely lift you. Guess I'll have to sell you for candy money this New Year's." "Hee hee, we're not fat," Maddie giggled, pushing at his face with her chubby little hands. His stubble tickled her. Lily and Isabel stood to the side, watching the three of them play with warm smiles. The two nurturing, home-loving women cherished this kind of cozy family atmosphere. "I wonder if that stubble would be uncomfortable during our mutual assistance sessions. I'll have to find an opportunity to test it out." "This is just ridiculous," Leo muttered, glancing back at Eleanor after hearing her thoughts. How had she become even more unhinged in the short time he'd been gone? "Leo, please. Please don't sell me, okay?" It was Grace who spoke, blinking her big, innocent eyes at him. She seemed genuinely afraid that he might actually sell her. Leo realized that no one had probably ever joked with her like that before. The little girl cherished her hard-won new life so much that she had likely taken his joke seriously. Grace was much smarter than other girls her age, not just in terms of IQ, but emotionally as well. Growing up in poverty, she had seen too many different sides of people. This harsh reality had forced her to learn how to read people. She could sense that in this family, Leo's word was law. Second was Isabel. Her own sister seemed to only listen to Leo, holding very little sway in the house. With her grandmother gone and her sister completely devoted to Leo, Grace had no real role model. This led her to subconsciously act in a pleasing manner when talking to Leo, much like her sister. "Of course I won't sell you," Leo promised readily. "Grace is so cute. How could I ever bear to sell her?" "Okay, thank you, Leo." Hearing his promise, the fear on the little girl's face finally faded, replaced by an adorable, trusting smile. "What a sweet dummy," Leo sighed to himself. Grace's combination of innocence and heart-wrenching vulnerability was identical to her sister's. "All right, go. What are your homework?" Leo set the two girls down and then swaggered into the kitchen, looking with amusement at the two women who were pretending to be calm. Lily was her usual sweet self, her hair in a neat ponytail, wearing simple, comfortable clothes at home. Her tall, statuesque figure often made Leo certain that any children he had with her would never have to worry about going hungry. The landlady was as stunning as ever, her figure even trimmer than before, likely due to her recent yoga practice. Leo also noticed that Isabel's hair was now in big waves, a glossy black mane that looked like she just had it styled today. "Lily, Isabel, it's been a while. How about a hug?" Leo opened his arms expectantly. Lily blushed and didn't respond. Isabel just rolled her eyes at him. "We're cooking. Don't make trouble." Leo shrugged shamelessly. "What do you mean, make trouble? Is there something wrong with checking on my wives while they cook? TCH, can't you ever say anything normal?" Isabel's face flushed, her brows knitting together. She had no idea how he could say such outrageous things so casually. Lily was also taken aback by his words, pouting her thin lips and giving him a resentful look. "Hey, big shot director, if you're not busy, how about you take the bowls and set the table?" Isabel said tartly. "We're not your actors. We don't need you supervising us." "You got it." Leo agreed instantly. He went to the cabinet furthest inside, stacked the bowls and chopsticks, and on his way out, he stopped by Lily. He leaned in close to her and asked, "Baby, it's been so long. Did you miss me?" "You, stop it, will you?" Lily was too embarrassed to flirt with him in front of Isabel. She shyly shrank back, her face perpetually flushed. She had the graceful maturity of a wife and the shy innocence of a young girl, a combination that made Leo's heart race. He couldn't resist. He put down the bowls, cupped her face in his hands, and, under her stunned and sweet gaze, planted a firm kiss on her lips. Then he left the kitchen with a grin, not before getting a light swat from Isabel. "You brat, stop bullying Lily." Isabel smacked him lightly, then looked at Lily, whose face was now an even deeper shade of red. "Are you okay?" "I am fine," Lily said, shaking her head gently, a syrupy sweet smile on her face. How could she possibly mind? If no one else had been home, she probably would have already thrown herself into his arms. Watching Lily's radiant, love-struck expression, Isabel paused for a moment, then smiled in understanding. Of course she's fine, she thought to herself. That girl is ready to give that boy her entire heart. Why would she mind him bullying her a little? As night fell, the sky grew heavy and overcast. A fine mist began to fall, dampening the ground and bringing with it a cool, humid chill. As the rain continued, the temperature dropped, making the air feel cold. The weather in Portland had been erratic lately, bright and sunny during the day, then plunging to frigid winter temperatures at night. It's getting colder and colder lately, Isabel said, hugging her arms as she stood by the window, frowning at the gloomy weather and drizzling rain. Isabel, if you're cold, just turn on the heat. It's not a big deal, Leo said, picking up the remote for the central air and switching on the villa's heating. As the system kicked in, a current of warm air began to circulate, and the spacious interior grew cozy, chasing away the chill. The two little girls had finished their homework and were snuggled together on the couch, watching a cartoon on a tablet, their bell-like laughter echoing through the room. Lily was helping to put away their school supplies. Once finished, she sat down quietly next to Leo, occasionally stealing glances at the boyfriend she hadn't seen in so long, her bright eyes filled with joy and dependence. When Leo took her hand, she lowered her head shyly, like a new bride, but leaned her shoulders sweetly against his. For some reason, Eleanor was watching Leo hold the remote and wrap his arm around Lily with a strange, inexplicable smile. Her beautiful face held a hint of something lecherous. But Isabel didn't understand the younger generation's crude jokes, let alone the proclivities of certain enthusiasts, so she didn't think anything of it. After washing a plate of apples and setting them on the table, Isabel sat down next to Leo. Try these. Lily's cousin sent them over. When Leo had visited Lily's family, he promised her relatives that he would have a popular actress from his company do a live stream to help sell their homegrown apples. Last month, he had his company's streaming and marketing departments handle it. With Leo's own popularity soaring and a new series about to be released, the unprecedented hype made the live stream a massive success. The stream would barely be live for an hour before the couple's entire stock of apples was sold out. Ben and Maria Carter were incredibly grateful, sending over several bags of big, red apples every few days. Isabel didn't want their kindness to go to waste, and the apples were good, so she made sure Maddie and Grace ate one every day. The problem was, she hadn't realized just how enthusiastic the couple was. After every successful live stream, a new shipment of apples would arrive a few days later. At first, the girls ate them happily. After all, they were big and crisp. But after a while, Maddie started refusing them, shaking her head whenever she saw an apple, and sometimes begging Grace to eat her daily quota for her. Grace wasn't a picky eater. The comforts of city life hadn't eroded her resilience, and she often helped Maddie finish her portion. Really, Leo picked up a large, red apple and turned to Lily. Why haven't they contacted me lately? Were there any problems with the live stream? Lily tucked her hair behind her ear. My uncle said you're too busy, and he didn't want to bother you. What's there to bother about? Leo said with a helpless smile. He opened TikTok, found his company's account, and saw that one of his streamers, Tanya Young, who he'd known since his early short video days, was live right now, energetically promoting the couple's apples to an audience of about 70,000 people. Leo, my uncle told me the other day to ask you to lower the price of the apples, Lily said, looking troubled. Back home, they only sell for about 50 cents a pound, but on your stream, they're selling $4 too. 50 a pound. Why lower it? The price is clearly listed. It's up to the customers whether they buy it or not. We're not deceiving anyone, Leo countered. Besides, my company's live stream has a huge audience. If we only made pocket change, wouldn't that be a waste? Lily said weakly, my aunt and uncle just feel the price is too high. It's more than triple last year's price. So what? It'd be stupid not to make money when you can. Who in business has a conscience these days? As long as it's within the legal framework and the conditions are right, everyone wants to make more. Leo chuckled. Don't worry. The moment that first payment hits your uncle's bank account, he'll be wondering if he can raise the price even higher. Once someone who's been poor taste wealth, they can never go back to the hard life. As long as it's legal, you can earn more money if you don't have a conscience. Grace's attention had long since drifted from the cartoon. She was blinking her big eyes, listening intently to the adult conversation, and quietly committing that sentence to memory. She looked up at Leo, who happened to hear her thoughts, and gave her an encouraging smile. He was constantly trying to correct the little girl's worldview. Grace had always been shy, and Leo's simple glance made her blush and quickly look away. So, that's how you fleece your fans? Having grown up in the city, Isabel also agreed with Leo's philosophy and teased him with a smile. You know, a lot of young girls are crazy about you right now. They like me, so what? On the internet, we're not related. I don't know them. Of course, they're all just traffic for me to monetize. After stating this matter-of-factly, Leo took Isabel's and Lily's hands. The only people I would ever be truly genuine with, beside my parents and my two sisters, are very few and far between. Stop it, Isabel said, her face flushing as she gently patted his hand, reminding him that Eleanor was right there. But Leo didn't care. He deliberately wrapped his arms around both women's waists, putting on a show for Eleanor. Seeing the two mistresses of the house sandwiching Eleanor, sitting on the same couch as the little girls, grew even more excited. A happy flush crept up her face, and she unconsciously rubbed her legs together, her breathing visibly quickening. If only the three of them would do it right in front of me. Just thinking about it. Eleanor, are you okay? Isabel noticed Eleanor's strange state and thought the heat was too high. Is it too hot in here? Should I turn it down? Snapping out of her lewd fantasy, Eleanor realized the three of them were staring at her curiously. Even the two little girls were looking up at her, blinking their big, innocent eyes. No, I'm fine. Eleanor took a few deep breaths to get her excitement under control. After dinner, Leo's work phone didn't stop ringing. It was one call after another about the upcoming release of his new series, and the large living room was filled with the sound of him talking to various department heads. His girlfriends tacitly kept quiet, and even the two little girls watching cartoons turned the volume on their tablet to mute. After Leo finally hung up, the pin-drop silence of the living room gradually gave way to a gentle buzz. Isabel brought over a new electric razor she had just bought. Leo, your old one is dull. A friend of mine brought this back from Germany. You should try it tomorrow. Got it, Leo replied without looking up, busy typing a message to his head of marketing. His relationship with Isabel was long past the point of polite thank yous. Isabel didn't mind. Their daily life was now like that of an old married couple. She turned to the girls on the couch. Maddie Grace, it's almost 9. Come brush your teeth and get ready for bed. Don't think you can play all night just because it's winter break. A light snow was falling outside, and after being in the warm, centrally heated house for so long, the two girls were already drowsy. They rubbed their eyes and padded off to the bathroom. Lily, I'm so tired, Leo groaned after finishing his conversation with the marketing head about half an hour later. He let his head fall limply onto Lily's impossibly soft thighs, then snuggled his face against her soft stomach. It was hard to imagine that Lily, a girl in her early 20s, had the body and personality of a married woman. Just being near her was incredibly comforting. Should you go take a shower and get some sleep? I can go upstairs and get your pajamas for you. Lily gently stroked his face, her expression soft and caring. In a bit. Someone else will probably call soon. There's a lot going on with work lately, Leo said, shaking his head. He was about to get up and grab his phone to check on things when Lily leaned over, her soft body pressing against his cheek. Do you want me to clean your ears? She asked expectantly. I've never heard of using a face wash before an ear cleaning, Leo thought with a silent laugh. But he knew this was just Lily's way of trying to get closer to him, so he didn't refuse, simply nodding in agreement. Lily smiled, pulling out the keychain she always carried with her. Among the keys was a small, clean ear pick. I'm going to start. Don't move, she instructed seriously, then focused on her task. Her concentrated expression had a unique, adorable charm. Cleaning your own ears was nothing compared to the pleasure of having someone else do it for you, especially when that someone was a sweet, gentle girlfriend with an amazing body. Lily's movements were incredibly gentle, the ear pick lightly scraping his ear canal, sending pleasant, ticklish sensations through him. The unintentional press of her soft body every so often only added to his comfort. No wonder in all those anime, the girl who cleans the main character's ears is always a beautiful, gentle older sister type. Besides me, why is this asshole so popular with women? Lily and the landlady don't seem like the types who enjoy being berated or hit. Seriously, what is it about this guy that I even like? Leo glanced up at Eleanor, who was sitting primly across from them, watching. Her face wasn't flushed with excitement, but held a look of resigned and strangely gratified acceptance. That woman, she's secretly cursing me out again, Leo thought, the corner of his mouth twitching, but he didn't let it bother him. He was used to her contradictory nature. He closed his eyes and continued to enjoy Lily's gentle service. After spending so much time on the road, constantly on high alert, Leo quickly succumbed to Lily's overwhelming tenderness. Within minutes, he had fallen asleep with his head on her lap. Eleanor watched Lily thoughtfully. She was patiently and gently cleaning Leo's ears, a sweet smile on her face. When she heard his soft, even breathing, the love in her eyes was practically overflowing. "You really love him, don't you?" Eleanor remarked, almost to herself. A flicker of guilt, so faint it was almost unnoticeable, crossed her mind. "Yes, I love him very much." Lily set the ear pick aside and gently caressed Leo's face. Once she was sure he was sound asleep, she looked up at Eleanor, the smile vanishing from her face, replaced by a grave seriousness. "And I'm going to marry him." She was normally too shy to express her love so directly, especially in front of Leo. But Lily was only shy, not unobservant. She knew what was going on. As a woman herself, she knew how Eleanor felt about Leo, and she knew they were hiding something from her. Besides, what girl would be so forward with a guy who already had a girlfriend? Lily was drawing a line in the sand, warning Eleanor not to make a move on Leo. Her voice was low as she looked down at the sleeping Leo, her expression taking on a hint of morbid resignation. The hand stroking his face grew firmer, her gentle voice turning sharp. "I don't care what he does out there. As long as he's willing to stay by my side, I can forgive anything else. No one is allowed to take him from me." Although Eleanor was a bit taken aback by Lily's sudden turn towards possessiveness, the moment she heard the word marry, she started nodding enthusiastically. Yes, yes, I support it. When you two get married, you have to let me know in advance. I'll definitely be there to congratulate you." Lily blinked. Eleanor's reaction was completely different from what she had expected. Had she been mistaken? Did Eleanor not actually have feelings for Leo? "Eleanor, I'll be honest with you. I'm grateful for all your help before, and I know you like Leo," Lily said, still confused but deciding to be direct. "But I hope you'll stop interfering in our relationship." "Okay." Me? Like that asshole? Lily, what are you talking about?" Eleanor waved her hands dismissively, a shy look on her face. "We're just friends. How could you ask something like that? Why would I like your boyfriend?" Her acting was so terrible that she might as well have had "I'm in love with Leo" written across her forehead. Lily was even more bewildered. What on earth was going through this woman's head? The next morning, Leo was in a sleepy haze when he felt a hand gently stroking his face. He groggily opened his eyes. Lily was lying on her side, softly caressing his cheek, her sweet face beaming with a happy and contented smile. But hidden within that smile was a trace of something sad. As Leo's eyes fully opened, Lily shyly pulled her hand back, her innocent eyes darting away to avoid his gaze. "What's wrong? You can dish it out, but you can't take it." Leo loved Lily's innocent, love-struck shyness. They had been together for so long, but whenever things got even slightly intimate, she would blush and act like a bashful newlywed. Lily pouted her cherry-like lips and shot him a defiant look, as if to challenge him with her eyes. Outside, snow was falling heavily. Inside the bedroom, the heater hummed softly. Leo watched the sweet girl in front of him with amusement, saying nothing. Lily started to feel uncomfortable under his gaze, and she curled her full, pear-shaped body up under the covers. "Baby, scoot over here. It's a little cold," Leo said expectantly, patting the space in front of him. Lily glanced at him, then wriggled her curvaceous body closer. The sound of smooth skin rubbing against the soft comforter filled the quiet room. Soon, a large expanse of softness was pressed against his chest, spreading warmth through him. Leo pulled the full-figured Lily into his arms, burrowing deeper into the covers and burying his face in her endless sea of tenderness. He let out a contented sigh. "Baby, you're so warm." "Jerk," Lily murmured, looking down at his mischievous face. She was blushing, but she didn't resist. Instead, she gently stroked his hair and shifted her hips slightly, allowing him to hold her even tighter. A girl who lacked a sense of security often craved this kind of embrace. It made her feel incredibly safe and content. They lay like that for a few moments. Lily held his head, looked at him pressed against her chest, and said tentatively, "Leo, I'm pregnant." "What?" Leo's head shot up. He stared at her in disbelief, his eyes wide with surprise and joy. "Are you serious?" But Lily was a terrible liar. After just a few seconds, she averted her gaze and whispered an apology. "I am sorry. I was lying. One, damn it. You got my hopes up for nothing. Besides, we're always careful. How could that even happen? Don't joke about things like that again." Recommended 2. Are you crazy? Is that something to joke about? If you ever joke about being pregnant again, we're through. Not recommended 3. Words are useless. Time for action. That's for tricking me. And that's for tricking me. Will you dare to do it again? Strongly recommended option 3 analysis. Since she's testing you to see if she can tie down your wandering soul with a child, why not give her a satisfactory answer? Damn it, you got my hopes up for nothing, Leo said with a frustrated laugh. Besides, we're always careful. How could that even happen? Don't joke about things like that again, okay? He really had been excited for a moment, thinking he was about to become a father. Lily watched him quietly. What if I really was? What would we do? What would we do? We'd have it, of course. Leo replied, as if it were the most obvious thing in the world. You weren't thinking about getting rid of it, were you? Let me tell you, Lily Reed, that is absolutely not allowed. If I ever find out you're even thinking about it, I will break up with you. His tone was stern and warning, but Lily found it incredibly reassuring. Still, she looked at him with a hint of grievance. But, you're so bad. You're always lying to me. Leo paused. He quickly figured out that she must have found out about his other affairs. A quick mental calculation later, he identified the culprit, Eleanor Hayes. He had never exposed Khloe or Maya to her, so Lily couldn't be talking about them. Only Eleanor had been around Lily the past couple of days, and with her terrible acting, it would have been easy for Lily to see through her. I am sorry. There was no point in denying it now. Leo apologized sincerely, and then began to spin a plausible-sounding lie. Lily, you know how complicated the business world is. For my company to grow so big in just 2 years, sometimes I have to bow down to those capitalists. Did Eleanor force you? Lily asked, surprised. Not exactly forced. It's just that the situation is complicated. It's hard to explain right now. Leo deliberately kept things vague, but then declared with absolute conviction, no matter what, I love you. You're the woman I want to spend the rest of my life with. Liar. I don't believe you, Lily mumbled, but her words betrayed her. The simple girl believed him. As the old saying goes, if a woman loves you enough, even if you tell her a lie, she will convince herself to believe it. Why would I lie to you? Leo said earnestly. Besides, you're so beautiful, and your body is amazing. Why would I go through all the trouble of cheating? It's not like I have nothing better to do. Ding. Lily Reed's affinity has increased by 5 points. Current affinity, 100. It can no longer be increased. The user is now the most important person in her life. Lily blushed at the compliment. So, you only got with me because I was pretty? She pouted. Isn't that obvious? Leo retorted. If you weren't pretty, why would I have let you pursue me? Why would I have helped you out all those times? So, shallow, Lily sputtered, her face bright red, but it was clear she was happy. Oh, and also, Leo added with a grin, I figured with you, our kids would never go hungry. Lily's face turned an even deeper shade of red, making her look even more adorable. And another thing, he gave her a playful swat under the covers, producing a crisp sound. That's for tricking me about the baby. Will you ever lie to me like that again? I will, Lily retorted bravely, but it sounded less like a defiance and more like a flirtatious challenge. Her usually sweet eyes now held a mischievous glint. In the days leading up to the New Year's holiday, every department at Portland State University began holding gatherings to celebrate the end of the semester and look forward to the next. These events to strengthen teacher-student relationships were an annual tradition, and nearly every student attended unless they had a special reason not to. This year's gathering was held at a decent restaurant in the city. Lily, along with her roommates, was in attendance. The originally noisy private room fell silent the moment Lily and her friends walked in. All eyes were on her. Thanks to her blessed figure and stunning looks, Lily's fame at PSU was unparalleled. She also possessed a gentle, nurturing quality rare in girls her age, earning her the campus nickname Total Wife Material. Countless freshmen and upperclassmen had made pilgrimages to her classes just to catch a glimpse of her, and all agreed the title suited her perfectly. Adding to her mystique was the incident last year where her bully's parents were arrested and ended up doing hard time the very next day, leading to widespread speculation about her powerful family background. This had caused many boys who were interested in her to keep their distance. After entering the room, Lily, overwhelmed by all the stares, gave a timid smile and retreated to a corner by the window with a glass of juice. Lily, go say hi to everyone, one of her roommates urged. You really need to work on this habit of hiding from people. Her roommates were very close to her, all fond of the gentle, brilliant, but slightly insecure girl. The only time they felt a pang of jealousy was when Lily wandered around the dorm in her pajamas, showcasing her heaven-defying figure. I think I'll just stay here, Lily said, shaking her head. For someone as introverted and socially anxious as her, just showing up to such a lively gathering was a huge step. Going around and greeting other classmates was asking too much. Seeing that she wouldn't budge, Her two roommates didn't push her and went off to chat with other classmates. Lily, how are things going with you and Leo? Only her top bunk roommate, Haley, another Idaho native, leaned in and asked curiously in their regional accent. When Lily first moved into the new dorm, Haley had been the one to introduce her to everyone and had always looked out for the somewhat sensitive Lily. Haley was probably the only person Lily considered a true friend at school. She was also the only one who knew that Leo was Lily's real boyfriend, a secret unknown to their other classmates and roommates. Sometimes Lily would confide in Haley about her relationship with Leo, blushing as she asked for advice on how to take things to the next level. Lily's brow furrowed slightly, and she managed a complicated smile. It's okay. He's just been really busy lately and hasn't had much time for me. His company is that big, so it's normal for him to be busy, Haley said comfortingly. But you can try being a little more affectionate with him. That way, the moment he has free time, you'll be the first person he thinks of. That's how it was with my ex. Oh, okay. I see. Lily blushed, nodding as if she understood. So those rumors about him and Eleanor Hayes were fake, right? Haley asked curiously. I saw they were all over the internet a while back. He said it was just a misunderstanding, Lily said, staring into her orange juice, her mood complex. She then asked in a small voice, Haley, if Leo had to choose between me and Eleanor, do you think he would choose me? Even though Leo had been vague in his explanation about his relationship with Eleanor, Lily knew he was hiding something. She now considered the incredibly wealthy and beautiful Eleanor a rival. Of course he'd choose you, Haley said, naturally taking her friend's side. She pointed at Lily's chest and said without a second thought, Don't you know, girl? You've got a weapon of mass destruction right there. I guarantee you, no man on earth could refuse a body like yours. You have no idea how tiring it is sometimes, Lily retorted, blushing and instinctively turning away. Wow, Lily, you really don't know how good you have it. Haley pleaded dramatically. If it's too tiring, can you give me half? If I had a body like yours, my ex never would have broken up with me. Stop it, don't joke around, Lily mumbled, pouting. Haley just smiled, then said seriously, if you're really worried about Leo, worried that he'll mess around in the future, then you should lock him down before you graduate. Leo doesn't seem like a player. If you two take that step, I personally think even a guy as wild as him would settle down. Lily listened, then looked at Haley, wanting to say something but stopping herself, her gaze shyly darting away. Haley paused, looked around to make sure no one was listening, and then whispered no. Wait, Lily, you've already given it to him. Lily remained silent, but her face grew visibly redder. Oh my God, Lily, and you're only a sophomore. If the guys in our class knew that Leo had already. You know, I guarantee they'd be emo for at least a semester. I thought you two were still. Haley trailed off, looking at Lily's flawless skin and then at her stunning figure. Okay, Fina, if I were Leo, I wouldn't have been able to hold back either. So isn't that perfect? Haley continued. You graduate in 2 years anyway. Sometime before then, you and Leo can make it official, get a marriage license, and then you won't have anything to worry about. No matter how career-driven a man is, once he has a family and kids, he'll definitely treat you right. The department head is here. I'm gonna go say hi. I'll be back to talk more later. Seeing their professor walk in, Haley left, leaving Lily alone by the window to think. A baby. Lily thought back to the other night. A hopeful smile graced her rosy cheeks as she rested a hand on her stomach, murmuring to herself, I hope so. Meanwhile, in the private room next door, the students and faculty of the fashion design department were having their own welcome back party. After the food and drinks had made their rounds, the students exchanged a few pleasantries with their professors before breaking off into their own familiar groups. Much like Lily Reed's nursing program, the fashion design department was overwhelmingly female. 2/3 of the class was made up of graceful, attractive young women. Guys from other majors would find excuses to stroll past the doors of the two private rooms, their ears catching the lively, crisp chatter of female voices from within. If a girl happened to enter or exit one of the rooms, the guys would feign curiosity, their eyes scanning the interior like radar, taking a quick inventory of the talent. Inside the fashion design room, a group of girls, led by Khloe Miller and Maya Pierce, was in the middle of a heated, animated conversation. Though the two of them had only recently transferred into the major, their charisma and social skills were top-notch, and they'd quickly integrated with their classmates and roommates. Besides academics, whenever the girls in the class got together, the conversation inevitably drifted to the same topics: celebrity gossip, cheating scandals, relationship drama, and whose boyfriend did what. If the friendships were closer, and the setting was a dorm room or someone's apartment, the topics could get so wild they'd make a seasoned sailor blush. Khloe, we've all talked about our boyfriends. What about you? After everyone else had shared, one of her roommates couldn't help but turn to Khloe. You've been keeping him a secret since middle school. Isn't it time for the big reveal? You can't possibly plan on hiding him until graduation, can you? Yeah, Khloe, another classmate chimed in. Even if your boyfriend is better looking than Henry Cavill, you have to at least let us see him. It's not like we're going to steal him from you. Well, Khloe pursed her lips, a shy smile playing on her face. He's been really busy lately. When he has some free time, I'll definitely introduce you all. Notarus. Khloe had never told her classmates about Leo. At first, she was worried that making it public would affect his work. His job was unique, and any little rumor about his personal life could be seized upon by the media, twisted, and blown completely out of proportion. Now, however, she had no intention of telling anyone besides her closest friends. The first time she'd introduced Leo to her roommates, they practically started drooling. Even Maya was willing to risk their entire friendship to try and wedge herself between them. With Leo's internet fame exploding, who knew what these girls would do if they found out? They might try to pull the same move Maya did and secretly undermine her. Same old story. Is your boyfriend the president or something? Always so busy running for re-election. Seriously, just tell us, Khloe. What does he do? At least show us a picture. The girls clearly didn't buy her excuse, which only made them more curious about who this mystery man was. Why are you all ganging up on me? Khloe was starting to feel the pressure. Seeing Maya smirking at her, she immediately redirected the line of fire. I've never met Maya's boyfriend, either. Why don't you ask her? Instantly, all eyes shifted to Maya. That's right. Maya, you said you have a boyfriend now, right? When do we get to meet him? Yeah, Maya, you were telling us he's a photographer. When are you bringing him around? We need to vet him for you. No problem, Maya said with a breezy wave of her hand. She walked over to Khloe, slinging an arm over her shoulder and leaning in conspiratorially. I'll let you in on a little secret, she whispered. My boyfriend and Khloe's boyfriend are actually the same person. The three of us live together. We even sleep together. Khloe's eyes widened in shock. She stared at Maya, about to protest, but the other girls cut her off with a collective groan of disbelief. Who believed that? Yeah, right. Even if it was Henry Cavill, I doubt he could handle two girlfriends at once. What's so hard to believe? Khloe and I have known each other for years. We're closer than actual sisters, Maya declared, her voice full of conviction. Most best friends say they share everything but their boyfriends. With us, we don't even have to draw that line. Besties for life, sharing one big life. And one big bed. You, Maya. So dirty. Wow, you've really been doing your research. Hey, if you find any videos like that, send them my way tonight. And just like that, Maya masterfully deflected the topic of her boyfriend, though the conversation among the other girls took a decidedly wrong turn. As the others got more absorbed in their raunchy discussion, a mortified Khloe pulled Maya aside. Are you crazy? She hissed. Why would you tell them that? What if they actually believed you? Relax. Maya grinned, gently brushing a few stray strands of hair from her friend's forehead. Even if we told them the whole, entire truth about the three of us, nobody would believe it. But what if they did? Khloe glanced around nervously, her face a mixture of shame and anger. What if they did believe you? Then we pull the one who believes it onto our little pirate ship with us. Maya teased with a wicked smile. I'm sure Leo wouldn't object. He'd probably give us a thumbs up. Khloe clapped a hand over Maya's mouth, her face burning. After making sure no one had overheard, she finally let go. You are impossible, Maya Pierce. How did I ever become friends with such a degenerate? Hey, it's not my fault. Our dear Leo has a taste for it. Maya retorted casually, a playful, instructive tone in her voice. Don't let his honest act fool you. Deep down, he's a bad boy too. Bullshit. He never used to be like this. Khloe fumed. I think you're the one who corrupted him. Fine, it's my fault. Blame me, Maya said, taking the fall as she always did. Then in a softer voice, she added, Look, just let them guess. We'll live our lives, and it's nobody else's business. Come on, grab a bite, say bye to the professor, and let's get out of here. Leo's getting home early tonight, and I need to save my appetite for him. Hey, Khloe, should we pop over to the room next door? Maya suggested with a mischievous glint in her eye. I heard it's the nursing students' party. Khloe had zero interest in the nursing department. She didn't know anyone in that major. You have friends over there? She asked, blinking. Nope, not a single one, Maya said, nudging her. But isn't that Lily Reed girl in their program? What do you say we go check out the competition that stole your campus queen title? Insane. Who even cares about those ridiculous labels? Khloe rolled her eyes in disgust. All this campus queen this, campus queen that. It makes me sound like I'm in a porn video. In this hyper-online era, titles like Campus Queen or Goddess were no longer compliments. More often than not, they just sounded weird. Haha. Well, our Leo does make videos, Maya giggled, covering her mouth. Maybe we should let him film one next time. We can post it online with the title, Scandalous Video of PSU Campus Queen Leaked. Go to hell. Khloe, flushed with a mix of embarrassment and anger, swung a hand at her shameless friend, who just laughed and dodged out of the way. I'm going to the restroom, Maya said with a playful smile, tossing her hair as she left the noisy private room. Such a tramp, Khloe muttered, chewing on her straw as she watched her friend's sultry retreat, her own cheeks still red. Taking a sip of her juice, Khloe tucked a stray strand of hair behind her ear, unlocked her phone, and pulled up her messages with Leo. Leo had changed his username and profile picture to his company's official logo. Khloe had also stopped using the matching couple's avatar from when they first met. Khloe _hibernating. Piggy, are you off work yet? Come pick me up at the Attic restaurant location, Portland, Oregon. The Attic, Portland State University. My big piggy. That's pretty far. It'll take me over an hour to drive there from the office. Didn't you and Maya drive? Khloe _hibernating. We did, but I want you to come get me. Just meet me at the street corner. You won't be seen. Pouting dragon emoji. In their daily life, Khloe would often say things she didn't mean or make small, contrary requests to test Leo's patience and affection for her. As long as he wasn't incredibly busy, Leo would always indulge his girlfriend's demands, recognizing it as her way of showing she cared. If a girlfriend never acted up a little, never made small tests during a relationship, there was a high probability that she didn't really have the guy in her heart. And if a guy, in the course of dating a girl, only thought about sex and never acted a little foolish for her, she wasn't his heart either. A normal relationship between young people was built on a foundation of the guy being a little bit of a fool and the girl being a little bit of a handful. My big piggy, fine. I'll head over as soon as I'm done here. I can't even gif. Khloe smiled at the screen, her fingers flying across the keyboard. Piggy, I know I give you a hard time every day. Do you think I'm being a pain? My big piggy, of course I do. But you're my girlfriend. If I don't spoil you, who will? My big piggy. And as long as you don't ask me if I'd still love you if you turned into a caterpillar, I could spoil you for a lifetime. Khloe hibernating. Well, what if I did turn into a caterpillar? Would you still love me? A rapidly approaching Doge meme emoji. My big piggy. I'm calling an exterminator. Khloe hibernating. Haha, you're awful. Go away. After their brief chat, Khloe put her phone away, a wide smile on her face, and set aside her half-finished juice. She had a save room for dinner with Leo. In the women's restroom, Maya was pouting at her reflection in the mirror, snapping a picture of her slightly chapped lips and sending it to Leo. Maya understood, I just noticed my lips are cracked. It hurts to touch them. Guess there'll be no kissing tonight. Crying emoji. Leo the pig. Don't be dramatic, sweating emoji. The weather's been pretty dry these last couple of days. I'll bring you some lip balm when I come over. Maya good. You're coming to get us? Surprised pretty girl emoji. Leo the pig. Yep. The three of us will go out to eat tonight. No cooking. There's a lively street near you guys. We could take a walk over there after dinner. Maya understood. Okay. Smiling face with horns. Leo the pig. That's the plan. I got a call coming in. I'll start driving over soon. A teddy bear holding a rose emoji. Putting her phone away, Maya smiled happily and started rummaging through her small purse. A girl's purse was like Doraemon's pocket, stuffed with cosmetics, a small mirror, lipstick, a comb, nail clippers, nail polish, and all sorts of other strange and wonderful things. Soon, she found a white tube of lip balm. Humming a cheerful tune, she began applying it in front of the mirror. Just then, a toilet flushed, and a familiar figure emerged from one of the stalls. Maya glanced over and saw it was none other than Lily Reed, the thunder goddess from the nursing department. Lily stood quietly next to Maya, waiting. Realizing she was in the way, Maya quickly stepped aside. Need to wash your hands? Go ahead. It's going to take me a minute. Thanks, Lily said with a small smile, moving to the sink next to her. Damn, she really is gorgeous, Maya thought, covertly studying Lily's face. Even as another woman, she had to admit that this girl was almost unfairly beautiful. No wonder half the guys in her old business classes were always talking about her. And her figure. It was simply enviable. Maya even wondered if Lily was patting her clothes. I should ask her what she eats. What does a person have to eat to get a body like that? Maya thought, biting her tongue. All done. Thanks, Lily said, drying her hands under the blower. No problem, Maya waved dismissively, thinking to herself what lucky bastard would end up with a girl who had such a great body and a gentle personality. Just then, Lily's phone chimed with a message notification. Maya had nothing to talk about with Lily and couldn't think of any small talk, so she turned back to the mirror to finish with her lip balm. But as Lily pulled out her phone, Maya's peripheral vision caught something unintentional. The profile picture for the incoming message was the logo of Leo's media company. "Hello." Just as Lily was about to answer the call from Leo, Maya spoke up, stopping her. "Excuse me, you're in the nursing program, right? Your name is Lily Reed, isn't it?" Lily, holding her buzzing phone, nodded thoughtfully. "Yes. Can I help you with something?" No, it's nothing. You just look a lot like a friend of mine from middle school." Huh. Maya gave a weak laugh, her gaze flickering to Lily's phone screen, her mind reeling. At first, Maya thought it was just a fan using Leo's company logo as their profile picture. But when she saw the contact name Lily had saved for the caller, her world came to a screeching halt. Her breath caught in her throat. The contact name was Leo Shepard, the same profile picture as Leo, and the exact same name saved as a contact. What were the chances of a coincidence like that? Her eyes scanned over Lily's stunning face and her perfect, pear-shaped figure. Maya swallowed hard. What man could possibly turn down a woman whose body and personality were practically flawless? A dreadful, terrifying thought began to form and spiral in her mind. Leo was cheating. Is it real? When did this happen? Should I make her answer the call to confirm if it's really him? What will Khloe do when she finds out? A storm of questions raged in Maya's head. She desperately wanted to ask Lily what her relationship with Leo was, or to demand she answer the call right there in front of her to confirm if it was really him. But if it was him, how would that affect their lives now? If her best friend found out Leo was seeing another girl behind her back, would she destroy the hard-won, fragile peace they had finally achieved? "Excuse me, was there something else?" Lily blinked, looking curiously at Maya's tense, conflicted expression. "No, it's nothing," Maya finally managed, swallowing her questions. It was the fear of knowing the truth, but not being able to face it. "Maya, what are you doing? I've been waiting forever for you." Just then, Khloe emerged from their private room and walked toward them, a confused look on her face. In that exact moment, Lily answered the call she had been ignoring. "Hello, Leo, I was just..." Huh. Almost simultaneously, the instant Lily spoke, Maya let out a sudden shout and ran towards Khloe. The abrupt noise startled Lily, who quickly clutched her phone and hurried away from the strange girl. "What's with all the drama?" Khloe frowned at Maya's bizarrely tense smile, though her eyes followed Lily as she disappeared back into her private room. Khloe, you won't believe it. I just won a super rare skin in a lottery. I have to play a couple rounds tonight," Maya said, a strained, panicked smile plastered on her face, her eyes darting toward the now-empty doorway where Lily had been. "You're obsessed with that game," Khloe said, rolling her eyes. Then she asked curiously, "Was that Lily Reed from the nursing program? Were you talking to her?" "Yeah," Maya said, taking a few deep breaths to compose herself. She forced a playful tone. "I was just asking her what she eats to get a figure like that." "You're so weird," Khloe said with a twitch of her lips. She then muttered thoughtfully, "But I thought I heard her say Leo or something." "Did you hear that?" Khloe had been some distance away, and Lily's voice was soft to begin with. On top of that, Maya had shouted suddenly, so Khloe, standing by the door, hadn't heard clearly. "No way. She was obviously talking to her boyfriend," Maya said with a knowing smile. "I think you're the one who's going crazy thinking about Leo. You're getting paranoid, seeing him in every girl who walks by." Khloe tilted her head back. "I've already got one fox in the henhouse right next to me. You think I'm not going to be on guard against other girls? Hey, we're best friends. We've known each other for so long. It's not worth letting a guy ruin that. Cooperation is how we both win," Maya said, draping an arm over her friend's shoulder and spouting righteous nonsense. "You got some nerve. I should have never introduced you to Leo in the first place," Khloe huffed, which was her way of tacitly agreeing. She couldn't bear the thought of throwing away years of friendship for a guy, so she had allowed their three-person life to continue, one small concession at a time. The boundaries she had once held so firmly had been slowly eroded and torn down by her best friend. "I was just thinking, if Leo really was messing around with Lily Reed, what would you do, Khloe?" Maya asked, probing casually. Khloe thought for a moment, her voice laced with uncertainty and a hint of dread. "If that really happened, I guess we'd have to break." "Forget it. It's not happening. Why are you even asking such a thing?" "But what if?" "I'm just saying, what if?" Maya pressed. "You saw her figure. If I were a guy, I probably wouldn't be able to resist. If Leo was really with her, what would you do?" "He wouldn't," Khloe said firmly. "I don't care what other guys are like. Leo wouldn't do that. I trust him." "You need to have more confidence in yourself and in him," Khloe said, looking at Maya with a smile. "Unless you're not really interested in Leo at all, and you're just in it for his body? If that's the case, you should find someone else soon. Date other guys. As your friend, I won't say a word. Then Leo and I can finally have our life for two. All right, I'm done with this nonsense. I'm going to the restroom, Khloe said, handing her purse to Maya. Leo's on his way over. Go say goodbye to the professor for us, and then we'll leave. This party is just for chatting anyway. It won't matter if we leave early. Sigh. Maya sighed helplessly, watching her friends retreating back. I'd love to have a normal life with him, but it seems like our man has other ideas. She didn't know if her friend had heard, but Maya, who had been standing right next to Lily, had heard it crystal clear. The name Lily had spoken into the phone was, without a doubt, Leo. As evening fell, a heavy snow began to come down. About 40 minutes later, Leo pulled into the underground parking garage of the commercial street, where he'd agreed to meet Khloe. Humming a cheerful tune, he took the elevator up to the bustling, snow-covered street. After a few minutes of searching, Leo spotted his girlfriend at an outdoor table of a coffee shop, busy taking photos and editing them. Khloe's outfit was, as always, stylish and youthful. She wore a fluffy white coat over a cream-colored vest, paired with a brown pleated miniskirt. A fuzzy white beret sat on her head, and a chestnut-colored scarf was wrapped snugly around her neck. Even in the freezing weather, Khloe hadn't forgotten to show off her long legs. She wore cozy, scrunched-up socks and the fleece-lined leggings that gave the illusion of bare skin. The small, visible strip of her thighs was enough to show how perfectly toned her figure was. Because of the cold, she had ordered a hot coffee. Every so often, she would put down her phone to wrap her hands around the warm mug, where she would glance up, her lively eyes scanning the passing crowd. After a quick scan failed to locate Leo, she would shrink back into her scarf and go back to tapping away at her phone, sending animated voice messages to friends, scrolling through TikTok, or liking and commenting on her friends' social media posts, busy as a bee. This was supposed to have been a date for 3, but Maya had to leave early for something. Leo didn't ask, and Khloe certainly didn't mind. In fact, she was probably thrilled not to have the third wheel interrupting her one-on-one time with Leo. After admiring his girlfriend's cute outfit for a moment, Leo knew he had to address the issue at hand. He was over an hour late, and he needed a good excuse. Hey there, why's a pretty girl like you sitting out here all alone in this snow? Leo strode over and sat down in front of Khloe, taking a sip of her coffee before flashing a smile. Want to go for a walk with me? Sorry, I have a boyfriend. He's on his way from downtown to meet me, Khloe said, propping her chin on her hand and looking at this goofy guy with amusement. In such terrible weather, she wasn't about to hold a grudge against her tardy boyfriend. She even reached out and tenderly brushed the snowflakes from his collar. Is that so? Leo feigned an impressed look. Well, your boyfriend must really love you, driving all the way from downtown in a snowstorm just to see you. All right, stop tooting your own horn. Khloe dropped the act, giving Leo a mock glare. Piggy, I've been waiting for almost an hour, but there was no real heat in her complaint. Khloe wouldn't pressure him with emotion, nor would she ask a stupid, dangerous question like why he hadn't driven faster. She wouldn't use his lateness to stand on a moral high ground and lecture him. Khloe's feelings for Leo had always been pure and beautiful. In her heart, she already saw him as her future. So what if you wait an hour? I drove for an hour in a snowstorm. How come you're not mentioning that? Not recommended too. Take her hand and warm it with your breath. I'm sorry. My bad. Who knew it was going to snow this hard? Strongly recommended 3. Double down. It's okay, babe. I'll make it up to you tonight. For 2 hours. Recommended option to analysis. It's a minor mistake. No need to make a federal case out of it. Showing care for your girlfriend will be more effective. I'm sorry. Who knew it was going to snow this hard? Leo smoothly took his girlfriend's cold hands and brought them to his lips, breathing warm air onto them and rubbing them briskly. Are they still cold? A little. Khloe hummed happily, her curved eyebrows dancing with joy, her expression a mix of affection and adoration for her boyfriend. Ding. Khloe Miller's affinity has increased by 5 points. Current affinity, 100. Affinity cannot be increased further. She already considers the host the most important person in her life. Still cold. Leo's eyes twinkled. He opened his mouth as if to pop her entire hand inside, which made Khloe blush and snatch her hand back, glancing around nervously. Are you crazy? What if someone sees? Leo shrugged nonchalantly. So what if they see? It's not like we're naked. EW. If your fans knew their idol talked like this, they'd unfollow you in a heartbeat. Khloe took back her coffee and took a sip, her tone playfully disgusted. You'd better be careful, or you'll ruin your image, my great big shot director. Wouldn't it be better if they did? Leo said, completely serious. See, this shows your science education was lacking. Don't you know that iron-based fans are black? Stop. Khloe covered her mouth, letting out a series of honking laughs that were so infectious. People on the street couldn't help but turn and look. All right, stop impersonating a goose. Let's go, Leo said, standing up. You? Maya already had a big meal. I'm still running on empty. Let's go find some food. I haven't even had dinner. The prideful Khloe would never admit that she had barely eaten anything at the party, that she too was starving because she had been saving her appetite to eat with Leo. Not so fast. Come here, Khloe beckoned to Leo. She took off the chestnut-colored scarf from around her neck and, standing on her tiptoes, carefully tied it around his, tucking it snugly into his collar. You're a grown man. Why do you always dress so lightly? You'll get arthritis when you're older. Khloe. Leo took a deep breath, inhaling the scent from the scarf and giving a satisfied nod. Stop being weird. Let's go. Khloe swatted her goofy boyfriend's arm, then habitually linked her arm through his, her mood buoyant as they headed down the commercial street. Piggy, the holidays are almost here, and it's getting colder. You need to wear more when you go out, Khloe said, feeling the material of Leo's coat and frowning in concern. I know you guys are tough, but you can't just ignore it. All right. Leo didn't bother explaining that he had heating in his office and rarely worked outside. When his girlfriend showed this kind of concern, the best thing to do was just accept it. You know, he teased, they say that pretty girls usually don't know how to take care of people. How come you're the opposite? This young lady has always been beautiful and kind-hearted. Khloe knew her boyfriend was complimenting her. She let out a smug hum, then added with a serious look, and Piggy, you were an hour late today. You're going to have to pay me back tonight. Double. Leo. Nearby was a commercial street with a quaint, historic feel. It was lined not only with stalls selling viral snacks and local delicacies, but also with numerous shops selling women's jewelry and accessories. Khloe loved these shiny little trinkets. Every time they passed a traditional jewelry shop, she would drag Leo inside. Then, with the help of a salesperson, she would try this on, put that on, and finally have Leo pick the best-looking one for her to buy. The street was only a few hundred yards long, but Khloe managed to stretch their walk into a nearly 2-hour ordeal before they reached the end. When she looked like she was about to dive into yet another traditional clothing store, Leo finally put his foot down. He cajoled and pleaded until he managed to steer her toward the food truck pot up ahead. Jesus, it's almost 9 o'clock, Leo said, glancing at his phone with a weary smile. Babe, can we take a little easier next time? If you see something you like, just buy it. You don't have to hesitate. Your boyfriend has money. The reason they had been browsing for so long was that in every shop, Khloe had to try on every single piece of jewelry, or she would get into a long conversation with the salesperson about how to wear it, or she'd ask Leo for his opinion and approval. What Leo found most amusing was that for little trinkets that cost only a few dozen dollars, Khloe would insist on haggling with the salesperson. In the end, after visiting 7 or 8 shops, she had only bought a single silver bracelet for a little over $100, and she'd bought a matching one for Leo, paying for it herself. What are you talking about? Khloe was admiring the silver chain on her wrist. Hearing Leo's complaint, she immediately lifted her chin and retorted defiantly. Shopping is about the experience. If I just went in and bought whatever without thinking, I might as well shop online. Besides, what if the quality is bad? Buying it would be a waste of money. For Khloe, the point of going out shopping with her boyfriend wasn't necessarily to buy things. It was about the act of browsing itself. Yes, you're right. This was just how most women were. They weren't like men who would just buy something on sight. Leo certainly wasn't going to nitpick her for it. Looks like if I marry you, I'll have to. Ahem, I'm getting a little hungry. Let's find something to eat first. Leo had been about to say something else, but he suddenly realized his casual words might spark his girlfriend's fantasies about marriage. He quickly feigned a shy cough and changed the subject, looking around at the nearby food stalls. In the past, whenever Khloe heard such lifelong promises, she would shyly pretend not to have heard while secretly blooming with joy. Now, however, she just blinked her hopeful eyes, looking at Leo with a sweet, playful smile. What's wrong, Piggy? Why didn't you finish? If you married me, what would you do? 1, marry you? I'd sell the company immediately, start some small business, and you'd be in charge of the house while I'm out making money. And occasionally, I'd take Maya on a trip. That's the married life I've always dreamed of. Strongly recommended, too. You're still in college. Why are you always thinking about marriage? Don't you know that marriage is the tomb of love and happiness? Not recommended 3. Never mind what I'd do if I married you. Babe, I want to ask you, would you mind if we had a few other girls standing next to us during our wedding photos and in the bedroom? Not recommended. Option 1 analysis. for a girlfriend you're often away from. She's long wanted to complain that if marriage is also like this, isn't it just a long-distance relationship? Spend more time with your girlfriend, who is still deep in the honeymoon phase. Seeing Khloe's expectant look, Leo swallowed nervously. He knew his girlfriend was now hearing these words as declarations of love. The more love he gave now, the harder it would be for Khloe on the day the whole thing blew up. If he let this conversation continue, Leo couldn't even imagine how much pain she would be in on the day of reckoning. You're still in college, why? Leo was about to make a deliberate mistake, to choose the most mood-killing option to end the topic. But looking at Khloe's hopeful face, he just couldn't bring himself to do it. He swallowed the words that were on the tip of his tongue. He had spent very little time with her this year, and Khloe, with her demanding and clingy personality, had never once complained. Even though he always told her he was busy with work, he was actually out getting cozy with other girls. He was no better than an animal. If he were to disappoint her now, to hurt her heart at a moment like this, wouldn't that make him worse than an animal? Forget it. As soon as I marry you, I'm selling the company and starting a small business. I can't stand this life of running around and having to dodge the media anymore, Leo said, pulling his girlfriend closer by her slim waist and painting a vivid picture. Then you and Maya will run the house, and I'll be out making a living. We can take Maya on trips occasionally. That kind of simple, carefree married life. That's what I've always wanted. Really, although Khloe had long wanted Leo to get a different job, his company was thriving, and she didn't want to be the one to make him give up the career he had worked so hard to build. But since Leo himself had said it, she had no more reservations. She had never been a materialistic girl. As long as her life was happy, a little simplicity was no big deal. Of course, if I had known what the media industry was like, I never would have gotten into film, Leo grumbled. Actually, I wanted to go public about you guys several times, but the other department heads said it would cause problems. Otherwise, I would have announced long ago that I have girlfriends. And more than one. Exactly. I should have just made you stick to writing novels and not get into any side hustles. Khloe nodded in agreement. The strange pluralization of girlfriends didn't strike her as too odd. After all, Maya was now considered Leo's girlfriend too. So, once you graduate and we get married, I'm selling the company, Leo said, holding Khloe's hand. First, I'll take you and Maya on a tour around the country, and then we'll come back to Portland and find some normal jobs. Okay. We can open an online store, Khloe suggested excitedly. It might not make a lot of money, but at least our lives will be fulfilling. The rich life isn't all it's cracked up to be, anyway. And so, the two of them went back and forth, painting a picture of their future married life. They grabbed a quick bite from the food stalls and then drove straight to a nearby hotel. Upon entering the hotel room, Khloe, who usually insisted on showering first, immediately threw her arms around Leo and started kissing him fiercely. A long while later, Khloe placed a pillow on the floor by the bed and sat down on it sideways, her eyes drifting upwards as she reminded him in a shy yet demanding voice, "Piggy, you promised me. You'll marry me after graduation, and we'll open an online store together. No more of this public-facing work. Why would I lie to you about that?" Leo reached out and smoothed the messy bangs from her forehead, a playful smile on his face. But, I didn't shower before coming out today. You don't mind? Humph. Khloe let out a soft hum, giving Leo a look that was both flirtatious and reproachful, as if to say she was already used to it. Khloe. The next morning, the snow that had fallen all night finally stopped, and the temperature warmed up slightly. Leo was up early, leading a yawning Khloe back to the Timeless Impressions condo complex. He had some finishing touches to put on a work project that he needed his home laptop for. "It's so cold, Piggy." After parking in the private garage, Khloe got out of the car, her feet sinking into the thick snow. She buried her neck deep into her collar, her teeth chattering, her breath turning into a white cloud in the air. "Why do we have to come back? The hotel was so nice." "Your boyfriend has to work," Leo said, taking the scarf from his own neck and wrapping it around Khloe's. He walked to the front door, pulled out his key, and teased her. "Besides, it's warmer today than yesterday. If you're still cold, it means you have a deficiency. Every time we meet, you're only thinking about one thing. You're going to suck all the yang energy right out of me. Girls can have deficiencies, too?" Khloe's cheeks reddened slightly, though she didn't seem embarrassed. Instead, she blinked curiously. "Isn't that a guy thing? What, you think girls don't have kidneys?" Leo rolled his eyes at her. If a woman overindulges, she can get a deficiency, too. Feeling cold, having cold hands and feet. Those are the signs for you guys. In truth, Leo hadn't known that women could have deficiencies just like men until he learned about it from Eleanor Hayes. "You make it sound so real," Khloe pouted, pulling out her phone to search for it. "Getting your medical advice from TikTok?" You'll be diagnosing yourself with cancer in no time. Leo laughed as he pushed open the front door. A wave of warm air from the central heating, which had been on all night, washed over them. Tossing his keys on the table, Leo casually shrugged off his coat and murmured with a smile, "Looks like my little lover is home." Besides Maya, neither Leo nor Khloe would leave the air conditioning on all night. They'd turn it off if it got too hot or cold. Huh, some little lover. Khloe put away her phone and stomped over, giving Leo a sharp punch on the butt. "Piggy, you're getting more and more out of line. You're saying this stuff right to my face now. What's next? Are you going to run off with her in a few days?" Khloe had already accepted their unique three-person relationship. She had adopted a turn-a-blind-eye attitude toward whatever Leo and Maya did in private. But when it was just the two of them, the duplicitous Khloe wouldn't allow Leo to even mention Maya's name. "One, don't be mad. Even though our relationship is a bit unique right now, my heart has always been with you. You're my first love, and you're the one I'm going to marry. Maya is, at most, a very understanding good friend. Strongly recommended, too." "Are you kidding me? Why would I run off with her? I can clearly have you both. A perfect sandwich. Why would I choose just one slice of bread? I'm not an idiot." "Not recommended 3. You're always jealous over nothing. Haven't you already accepted our relationship? Why do you keep harping on it? If you're that worried, then from now on, you can just find ways to empty my ammo clips. That way, I won't have any energy left to play games with your best friend." Recommended. Option 1 analysis. For a girlfriend with maxed out affinity, no matter how jealous she gets, as long as you make your final choice clear to her, she will ultimately forgive you and let go of everything you've done in the past. "Don't be mad. Even though our relationship is a bit unique right now, my heart has always been with you. You're my first love, and you're the one I'm going to marry," Leo said, rubbing his butt and tucking Khloe's scarf more snugly around her neck. "Maya is, at most, a very understanding good friend." Khloe shot Leo a look and sighed in frustration. She then marched up to him, lifted her pretty face, pointed a finger at his nose with all the bravado of a bratty imp, and warned, "Piggy, I'm warning you. If you don't marry me after I graduate, I am not done with you." Having said her piece, Khloe strutted off toward the bathroom like a proud peacock. "Fine by me," Leo muttered behind her back. After she disappeared into the bathroom, he added under his breath, "As long as we don't sign a marriage license." Khloe was exhausted from the night before and had woken up far too early. After another shower, she skipped breakfast entirely and went straight to her room to sleep. Leo also went to his room, lying on his bed and working on the final edits for his upcoming TV series on his laptop. He worked until around 10 in the morning when his door creaked open. Maya, wearing a thin nightgown, walked in. She looked at Leo, who was typing away on his bed, with a calm, almost curious expression. Leo glanced at her. "Just getting up? Have you eaten breakfast?" "Not hungry," Maya mumbled, then calmly walked over to his bed, lifted the covers, and slid in next to him. She rested her head gently on his shoulder, her round eyes fixed on him. Leo was focused on his work and didn't notice Maya's unusually speculative gaze. "You need to get in the habit of eating breakfast," he said, concerned. "You're not that healthy to begin with." "I know," Maya replied with a smile. Despite her current suspicions, she was still a girl who loved to be cared for. "Dad, when did you and Khloe get back?" Maya asked casually, subtly observing Leo's expression. "Around 7 or 8 this morning," Leo answered without looking up. "By the way, why didn't you come to dinner with us last night? Did something come up? Hee, you wanted me there that badly?" Maya's tone turned suggestive. "Or were you just craving another sandwich?" Leo typed for a moment longer, then admitted honestly a little. "It's so cold, after all. We have to learn to huddle together for warmth." "EW, you're terrible," Maya giggled, pouting. She loved Leo's frankness. She was a bad girl who had never liked hypocrites. The more direct Leo was, the naughtier he was in this regard, the more Maya liked it. But the thought of Lily Reed brought all her worries flooding back. How am I going to bring this up with him? There can't be another person with the same name in Portland, can there? Leo stopped what he was doing. "Is something on your mind?" he asked. "Nope," Maya replied with a smile. "What makes you think that?" "It's written all over your face," Leo said, tilting his chin. "Spit it out. What is it? You really want me to?" Maya asked, hesitating. "Stop being mysterious. You don't have to hide things from your dad. Come on, say it." Leo chuckled, unfazed, and went back to typing. "Well," Maya paused for a moment, then finally said, "Yesterday, when Khloe and I were at the restaurant for the party, we ran into Lily Reed." As soon as she said it, Leo's hands, which had been flying across the keyboard, froze. "Lily Reed? That name sounds familiar." Leo turned to Maya, feigning composure. "Is that the girl you guys said was being bullied at school? Why are you bringing her up all of a sudden?" Seeing Leo's calm demeanor, Maya couldn't quite tell what was going on, but she decided to press on. Yeah, that's her. The one with the amazing body. So you ran into her. What does that have to do with me? Leo asked, still pretending to be unfazed. At this critical juncture, he had no intention of letting Maya know about his relationship with Lily. Oh, nothing much. Maya looked perfectly serene. She snuggled closer to him, sliding one hand under the covers and placing on his chest as if to warm it up. Then, with a placid expression, she delivered the words that sent a chill down Leo's spine. It's just that Khloe and I saw her on a video call with someone yesterday. Her contact profile picture was exactly the same as yours, and even the contact name was saved as Leo Shepherd. As she finished speaking, Maya could clearly feel Leo's breath catch, and his heart began to pound erratically against her hand. This overly abnormal microreaction confirmed her suspicions. Leo was definitely hiding something about him and Lily from her and Khloe. Portland is a huge city. You must have a ton of fans. There are probably a few who use your company logo as their profile picture, but for the name to be the same, too, that's quite a coincidence, Maya said, tilting her head back to look at Leo's serious expression, her tone light and teasing. I was just thinking, maybe that contact of Lily's. Was you, Dad? Damn, you found me out, Leo said, realizing he was losing his composure in front of her. He decided to adopt a devil-may-care attitude. The truth is, I've been secretly dating Lily behind your and Khloe's backs for almost 2 years. I mean, with a body like that, what man could say no? Leo had judged that Maya must have caught wind of something, some clue about his relationship with Lily. Otherwise, she wouldn't have brought it up so suddenly. He had no intention of revealing the truth just yet, and he knew he couldn't show any weakness in front of this cunning little vixen. So he tried to pass it off as a joke. Really? Maya tilted her head, her eyes twinkling as she gazed at him. She didn't seem angry about him cheating. She just seemed to be trying to confirm if it was true. Of course not, you silly girl, Leo said, closing his laptop and setting it aside. He laughed. I have you and Khloe. That's more than enough. Where'd I find the energy to mess around with other girls? I don't know about that. After all, you said it yourself. What man could resist a body like Lily's? Under the covers, Maya discreetly tapped her phone screen. Then, she sat up, straddling Leo's waist. She held up her phone, which was now initiating a video call, and looked down at him with an innocent smile. It just so happens that I added Lily on my social app yesterday afternoon. Let's just ask her right now in front of you. Don't. Seeing the familiar profile picture and the contact name, Lily Reed, Leo's eyes went wide with terror. He lunged for the phone, terrified that the camera would connect and show him lying in bed. He couldn't dare let Lily know about the other girls right now, and his current position with Maya was so compromising. If she saw this, 10 mouths wouldn't be enough to explain it away. But just as he grabbed the phone, the video call connected. What do you want, Maya? I'm sleeping. Huh. Hearing Khloe's sleepy voice from the phone, Leo froze. He snatched the phone and looked at the screen. It was Khloe, buried under her covers, her voice thick with morning grogginess. Piggy, what are you doing? Khloe rubbed her eyes, looking completely exhausted. Leo stared bewildered from Khloe on the screen to Maya, who was now looking down at him with a sly, mischievous grin. Oh, nothing, Maya said, taking the phone back and pointing the camera at herself with a cheerful smile. We were just about to start a new game and thought you might want to watch. Spice things up a bit. Or hey, you could come over and we could run a 3-player match. Maya, I'm going to kill you. Click. Before Khloe could finish her curse, Maya hung up, a triumphant look on her face as she gazed at Leo. Dad, you're so gullible. Lily and I aren't even in the same major. I barely even see her around. How would I have her on my social app? It was only then that Leo realized the contact on the screen had been Khloe all along. The profile picture hadn't been changed. Only the name had been edited to Lily Reed. He had never imagined that Maya's simple, straightforward attack would force him to reveal his entire hand. Well, you see. Leo's face twisted into an awkward smile as he fumbled for an explanation. But for a moment, he couldn't think of a single way to patch up this lie that was now riddled with holes. An awkward silence fell between them, broken only by the hum of the heater. Dad, you're terrible. You already have me and Khloe. Why did you have to go after Lily Reed? You've already had the sandwich. Are you really trying to make a whole cake now? Maya gave Leo a light slap, showing no signs of anger, only the petulant annoyance of a spurned lover. I admit, her body is amazing, and she's beautiful. If I were a guy, I couldn't resist either. But Khloe and I aren't bad either. Why would you risk Khloe blowing up at you to go after Lily? 1. Deny it to the death. We're just ordinary friends. We may have hooked up a few times, but my heart has always been with Khloe. Don't try to stir up trouble. Not recommended too. Pull her into your arms. Confess everything about Lily. Apologize sincerely, and make it clear that your feelings for her are genuine. Strongly recommended 3. Grab her by the waist. You know what? I do want to make a cake. Maya, can you help your daddy out? Not recommended. Option 2 analysis. Maya's love for you is overflowing, and her feelings for you go beyond the normal scope of affection. After a sincere apology and a promise that you will never abandon her, your good, obedient daughter will definitely help you get through this crisis. You might even get that cake after all. I'm sorry, Maya. It's my fault. Seeing that he could no longer hide it, and that Maya had no intention of blowing things up, Leo apologized sincerely and confessed everything about Lily. From how he met her to how they got together, Leo recounted the story in detail, not leaving out a single word, except for any mention of his landlady. Oh my God! Maya listened stunned. She couldn't believe that Leo had seamlessly started a relationship with Lily that had been going on for nearly 2 years, right under her and Khloe's noses. Dad, are you trying to get yourself killed? Maya wasn't angry that she had been betrayed. She was worried. If Khloe finds out you've been seeing Lily behind her back for this long, she'll lose it. The only reason Khloe was willing to share Leo with Maya was because of their deep, sisterly bond. She couldn't bear to destroy their friendship, so she had resigned herself to their current 3-person harmony. But Khloe didn't even know Lily, and Leo had been seeing her for just as long as he'd been with Khloe. The length of his relationship with Lily was the length of his deception. If Khloe found out the truth, she would absolutely, irrevocably break up with him. I'm in too deep. You don't know what Lily's like. Ever since I helped her with that bullying situation at school, she's practically given me her whole heart, Leo said, feeling helpless. If I try to break up with her, she'll definitely go to a dark place. But I can't bear to leave you and Khloe, so I've just been trying to keep it under wraps. So the powerful figure behind Lily was you, Maya exclaimed in astonishment. My dear daddy, you really are full of secrets. The girl Lily had crossed paths with came from a very influential family. But within a few days, that girl and her entire family had been arrested, and their company had been shut down and investigated. This had led many at school to suspect that Lily had some powerful backer. Maya had never imagined that the mysterious, powerful figure was the man right in front of her. But thinking back, Maya realized that at the time, Leo didn't seem to have any connections in society. His career was just starting to take off. The only person who could have helped him was probably his biological father, Connor Sterling. Leo had always been reluctant to return to his birth family. Maya's mind immediately concocted a dramatic scenario of Leo, desperate to avenge Lily, reluctantly begging his father to pull some strings. It's not that I'm full of secrets. I just helped out where I could, Leo said with a casual shrug. He sat up, drawing his knees up and pulling Maya, who was still sitting on his lap, into his arms. He nuzzled her nose and pleaded, Maya, my sweet Maya, you'll help me, right? I'm really stuck between a rock and a hard place. I really can't bear to be without you guys. Maya rolled her eyes playfully, neither agreeing nor refusing. You only say these sweet things when you want something. Maya, my sweet Maya, please, Leo whined, burying his face in her shoulder and nuzzling her like a child. Maya giggled, pushing his head away. Stop it, Dad. That tickles. So you'll do it? Leo looked at her, his eyes shining with hope. Do what? Maya blinked innocently, a mischievous glint in her eyes. I don't know what you're talking about. Come on, Maya, don't play with me. Leo buried his face in her chest. I've been a nervous wreck trying to figure out how to resolve this peacefully. Please, just help your daddy out. All right. Really? Leo looked up from her embrace. Of course you're my dad. After all, ever since you came into my life, I knew I could never leave you. How could I just stand by and watch you struggle? Maya stroked Leo's head, her voice soft and reassuring. You've helped me so much in the past. It's my turn to help you. I'll handle Khloe, and after the holidays, I'll find a way to talk to Lily. Leo's nose tingled, and he was overcome with gratitude. Maya, you're the best. He murmured. Maya leaned down and kissed him, then blinked, her voice turning sultry and coy. I've been a good girl, haven't I, Dad? I think I deserve a reward. That evening, a cold, light snow began to fall again. Khloe woke up, rubbing her messy hair, and padded into the living room in her fluffy slippers. A glance at the wall clock told her it was already 6:30 p.m. The world outside the window was a blanket of white, and it was impossible to see anything clearly. Leo and Maya were in the kitchen, cooking and laughing together. The harmonious atmosphere made them look like a young couple. Piggy, Khloe said, appearing at the kitchen door and rubbing her eyes. I'm hungry. What's for dinner? I'm making something for you to slurp down. Maya quipped with a meaningful glance at Leo. Leo coughed lightly, knowing exactly what the little troublemaker was implying. We're having noodles tonight. Go brush your teeth. It'll be ready by the time you're done. Okay, no egg of mine, please. And easy on the spice and green onions, but extra sesame oil. Got it, Your Highness, Leo replied with a smile. Now go on. Your hair looks like a bird's nest. I'll hit you. Khloe threatened with a small, delicate fist, then ran a hand through her own hair and shuffled off to the bathroom, yawning. Soon, the sound of running water could be heard. Dad, Maya nudged Leo with her elbow, looking at the boiling noodles in the pot. You're so good with your noodle. When you're with Khloe and Lily, do they always cook their noodles for you? Is that how you got so good at it? Go get the bowls, Leo said, his face flushing as he gave Maya's perky rear a light slap. Maya stuck her tongue out playfully and fetched 3 ceramic bowls. She began preparing the toppings, then stepped aside to let Leo serve the noodles. Always with the dirty jokes. A young lady shouldn't talk like that, Leo admonished her, then began lifting the noodles into the bowls and ladling broth over them. When he got to Maya's bowl, she looked up at him with a wide, cheerful grin. Compared to Khloe's bowl, isn't there a little too much water in mine? I hope you don't choke on again, like last time. Leo. Having made short work of dinner, Khloe noticed the fat snowflakes falling outside the window again. She padded over in her fluffy slippers and stood there, lazily watching them drift down. Because they were in a private community and with the heavy snow, the roads were completely deserted. Not a single car passed by. The world was a blanket of white, eerily quiet. Behind their house was a private yard. The once green lawn, now a vast expanse of white. Beyond the yard, not far from the road, was the community's artificial lake. Its surface was frozen solid, gleaming like a mirror in the distance. Khloe pulled her gaze away from the cold scenery and turned to look at the 2 people washing dishes in the kitchen. She couldn't hear what they were saying, but one moment they were flirting like a couple in the throes of new love, the next they were whispering conspiratorially, as if plotting some grand scheme. It's like I'm the third wheel here, Khloe thought, annoyed. A pang of jealousy struck her, but then, remembering that these were the 2 people she cared about most, the jealousy softened into a reluctant sense of contentment. Khloe, who had once found their 3-person arrangement both bizarre and unsatisfying, had, under the constant push and pull from Leo and Maya, adopted a resigned, laissez-faire attitude. Of course, all of this was predicated on Maya's promise that she would never pursue a marriage certificate with Leo, that she simply wanted to be by their side. Otherwise, Khloe would never have allowed her boy-crazy best friend to stay so close to them. I guess this is just how it is, Khloe muttered with a resigned pout. She took out her phone, snapped a picture of the distant lake, and went back to peacefully admiring the elegant snowfall. They say online that people who like rainy and snowy days are usually introverts, not very good at socializing, and prefer to be alone. Leo came up behind her, planting a kiss on her cheek and wrapping his arms gently around her waist. You're always so full of energy, like you're powered by Duracell batteries. That doesn't sound like you. Or, do you have a split personality? That just shows you don't know me at all. Your girlfriend is actually very sensitive on the inside, Khloe said smugly, leaning into her boyfriend's embrace. Thinking of the affectionate scene she had just witnessed in the kitchen, another wave of jealousy washed over her. Piggy, we've been together for so long, but I feel like you still don't really get me. Is all your attention on Maya now? Do you even care about me anymore? 1. You're my first love and the person I'm going to marry. Maya is at most a like-minded friend. If I had to choose between the 2 of you, I would obviously choose you. Strongly recommended too. You're always looking for trouble. No matter how good our relationship is, you're going to wear it down. I'm not powered by Duracell batteries. How can I possibly provide you with emotional validation every single day? Not recommended 3. Maybe you should go to Texas and become a professional rodeo clown. Just last night, you were calling me your big strong man all night long. What? You slept it off and forgot everything. Not recommended option 1 analysis. When dealing with a jealous girl, just choose her decisively. All problems will be solved. How could you say that? You're my first love and my future wife. Maya is at most a like-minded friend. If I had to choose between the 2 of you, I would obviously choose you, Leo said, gently rubbing Khloe's cold earlobe. He added seriously, besides, if I knew you inside and out after only 2 years, wouldn't that make me a player? I need to spend the rest of my life getting to know and love every part of you. Ding! Khloe Miller's affinity has increased by 10 points. Current affinity, 100. Affinity cannot be increased further. She already considers you the most important person in her life. Khloe was visibly moved by Leo's heartfelt words. She stared at him for a long moment, and a rare, lovely blush spread across the face of this girl long past the honeymoon phase, as charming and adorable as the day she first fell in love. Noticing her boyfriend's grinning face, she shyly turned away, her words contradicting her feelings. Don't think I don't know. You definitely just copied that from the internet to placate me. I'll hit you. Hey, I'm innocent. Leo shook his head with a smile, holding his pouting girlfriend by the waist, and saying nothing more as they watched the snowfall. Hee, Piggy, even if you did copy it from the internet, I still love hearing it, Khloe said, rubbing her head against Leo's chest. She tilted her head back, her eyes shining with hope. You have to say things like that more often in the future. I love it when you're like this. All right, whatever you say, Leo said, gently rocking his girlfriend by the shoulders. He teased her. I'll have to keep a memo pad, fill it with cheesy pickup lines. Then, when you're jealous or angry, I can recite them to you. What if I get really, really angry? Angry enough to break up with you? Khloe asked with a pout. Well, Leo was at a loss for words. Before he could formulate a response, Khloe slapped his arm lightly. You're so dumb. What's there to hesitate about? Haven't we talked about this before? No matter how angry I get, deep down, I still want you to comfort me. Have you forgotten everything I taught you? Oh, right. I remember now, Leo said with a weak smile, thinking to himself, I really hope you don't go back on your word when the time comes. I've taught you all of this now. In the future, no matter what I say or do when I'm angry, you have to come and comfort me. Otherwise, I'll get really angry, the kind of angry that can't be fixed, no matter how much you try. Khloe instructed him, step by step. She didn't want to go through another fight like the ones they'd had before. Are you speaking English? Because I don't understand a word you're saying, Leo asked, completely baffled. So please tell me, when you're angry, how am I supposed to tell if it's real or not? I'm not telling you, Khloe said smugly. I have the final say, angry or not. You have to comfort me. Ugh, you evil capitalist, Leo said, swatting her on the butt, which made Khloe erupt in a fit of shy giggles as she tried to pinch him back. The two of them roughhoused by the window for a while, and before they knew it, they were lost in another kiss. A long while later, Leo looked at Khloe's flushed, breathless face and said with a mischievous glint in his eye, ready for another round? Khloe froze for a second, then gave him a playful eye roll. You bad boy. We played so many rounds last night. Aren't you tired at all? She didn't say a word, but her coy, come-hither expression and her unspoken admiration said everything. Let's go. Just as Leo took Khloe's hand and began leading her, half resisting, toward his room, Maya emerged from her own room, also in her pajamas. Seeing their intimate posture, Maya's face broke into an excited grin. Another round? Count me in. As the holidays approached, the festive atmosphere grew stronger. Harrison and Catherine Hayes, who were living abroad, arrived back in the country the day before New Year's Eve, along with their close friend Connor Sterling, who happened to be on a business trip in the same area. They were paying a visit to a friend, or rather, a business mentor, who had immigrated several years ago. A self-made man like Harrison Hayes, having navigated the business world for so many years, had made many like-minded friends and partners. But in business, there are no permanent friendships, only permanent interests. The number of close friends that a pragmatist like Harrison held dear could be counted on one hand. The cash king of Florida, Connor Sterling, was one of them. It was no exaggeration to say that in that chaotic era, when people would fight tooth and nail over a piece of land, the two of them had forged a bond that went beyond mere friendship. Led by a driver, the couple entered a stately and imposing mansion. A white maid guided them into a magnificent, gilded hall. Long time no see, old Hayes. Connor, who had been chatting and laughing with his wife on the sofa, stood up as his old friend arrived. It hasn't been that long, and your hair is already completely white. You're not much better, Harrison retorted, rolling his eyes at his irreverent old friend and cursing with a smile. Not too long ago, weren't you the one complaining about your back aching all the time? They had known each other since they were ambitious young men, and their relationship had long since evolved into a brotherhood. Their banter was free of reservations and business jargon, filled only with the camaraderie of a decades-long friendship. Catherine, you haven't changed a bit. Still as beautiful as ever. Connor then complimented Catherine with a smile. No wonder my brother here looks more and more worn out these days. TSK, what nonsense are you talking? Harrison shot his old friend a defiant glare. A man, no matter his age, will never admit he's losing his edge, just as a woman, when asked her age, will always claim to be just 18. You two grown men, still talking like a couple of hooligans. Catherine rolled her eyes at the two old jokesters before turning to chat warmly with the woman on the sofa. Because their husbands had known each other for so long, Catherine and Connor's wife, Vivian Sterling, had also been friends for over a decade. Their bond was just as strong as their husbands. And with Catherine's outgoing personality complementing Vivian's more introverted and quiet nature, they were a perfect match. Even after a long time apart, they could quickly fall back into easy conversation. "Vivian, it's been too long. How have you been? Isn't Cassandra with you?" "She's been in the States all year. She doesn't travel with us anymore," said Vivian, who was nearly 40, her voice as soft and gentle as it had been 20 years ago, warm, intelligent, and a little shy. Catherine nodded. "That's good. It's so chaotic overseas right now. Harrison and I are planning to move back, too. We'll come back to handle business once things have settled down here." Due to global instability, the world was rife with unrest. Harrison and Connor, two men at the forefront of the business world, had already begun to move their assets from less stable countries back to the safety of home. This was the main reason they had both been abroad for so long. Slowly, as always, the two women's conversation moved from polite catch-up to enthusiastic chatter. When powerful people chatted in private, there wasn't much ceremony or etiquette. Their topics weren't as lofty as the outside world imagined. The two women, laughing and talking on the sofa, were no different from college girls gossiping in their dorm room, occasionally teasing their husbands about their embarrassing habits. "You two rascals. So old, yet still acting the same as ever." After about 15 minutes of lively conversation, a slightly hoarse male voice drifted down from upstairs. They all looked up to see an elderly man with white hair, dressed in a dark suit, descending the spiral staircase, holding a small, blonde, blue-eyed boy in his arms. This was the mentor and dear friend the two men had met in Hong Kong, Leo Young. Back in the 90s, Leo Young had started from scratch in Hong Kong. Using his experience as a construction foreman, he had transitioned into real estate and made a fortune. He was a guide and a big brother figure to both Harrison and Connor. In fact, it was through Leo Young that Connor had met Harrison, who was also starting his own business in Hong Kong at the time. After '97, Leo Young had moved into international trade. His companies were mostly based abroad, operating in the most lucrative foreign sectors, especially arms dealing. The handgun Harrison had hidden in his office to use against Leo had been acquired with Leo Young's help. "Mr. Young," the two men greeted him with a smile. Even though Leo Young's status was not what it once was, and most of his assets had been seized by the American government on suspicion of illegal activities, his position as their respected elder had never changed. Leo Young nodded with a smile, then looked down at the little boy in his arms. "Julian, say hello to your uncle and aunt." After Julian said hello in English, Leo Young gently corrected him. "No, your uncle and aunt are from our homeland, just like us. You should speak to them in their language." "Hello, uncle." "Hello, Annie," the little boy said again in slightly clumsy English. The adults nodded in approval. Only then did Leo Young let his grandson down and allow the white nanny to take him outside to play. "Julian's gotten so big," Connor remarked. "The last time I saw you, his mother was still holding him in her arms." "Time flies," Leo Young sighed, sitting down on the sofa. He then shot a look at the two men. "Speaking of which, you two old geezers aren't getting any younger. Haven't you thought about having grandchildren? You know that oil guy, what's his name? His house is full of them. Black, white, yellow, grandchildren of all kinds. You two have been making money for half your lives. It's time to start thinking about these things." That damn girl of mine. It's probably never going to happen," Connor said, the corner of his mouth twitching. Vivian's face clouded over with worry. Cassandra thought she had hidden it well, but her parents had known about her sexual orientation for a long time. They just hadn't said anything. "Cassandra is still young. Maybe she'll change her mind later," Leo Young said. He had talked to Connor about this before. After a few words of comfort, he turned to Harrison. "What about Eleanor? How is she now? At the beginning of the year, you told me she was doing much better. Is she dating anyone?" "It's a long story. Right now, Catherine was about to launch into a long-winded explanation when Harrison cut her off. "No, she's single right now." Hearing the couple's completely different reactions, Connor and Vivian exchanged a knowing glance. "Hey, I just remembered. Wasn't there a story that broke a while back about Eleanor dating a young Chinese-American director from back home?" Leo Young asked, a look of sudden realization on his face. "Was that true?" At his words, Harrison and Catherine fell silent. Vivian discreetly nudged her husband's leg, her anxiety palpable. Only Connor remained composed, taking a calm sip of his tea while secretly observing his old friend Harrison's reaction. Connor and Vivian Sterling knew their yet-to-return son had a girlfriend, a girl from a well-off family in Florida named Khloe Miller. But they had never met this girl Sharon described as an angel. Vivian's anxiety stemmed from Sharon's repeated visits, during which she detailed Leo's womanizing ways, heavily emphasizing the time he'd taken Eleanor Hayes back to his hometown for the holidays. Eleanor was stunning. Harrison Hayes was currently gritting his teeth in a state of helpless frustration, and Sharon had spilled so much dirt on her son. It was clear to Connor and Vivian that the Hayes family's precious daughter, Eleanor, was definitely involved with Leo. Otherwise, their attitudes wouldn't be so drastically different. The current situation was delicate. Neither Vivian nor Connor wanted this to shatter their decades-long friendship with Harrison, but they also didn't want their wild child of a son to face Harrison's wrath or retaliation. They're young, Connor offered, trying to smooth things over. Dating is normal. Eleanor is at that age. He felt caught in the middle. Harrison, didn't you say you weren't going to interfere in her life anymore? If I don't interfere, she'll turn into a delinquent, Harrison spat bitterly. You have no idea how rebellious she's become. She even dares to curse at me now. Really? Vivian was surprised. She had watched Eleanor grow up and had always seen her as a sweet, well-behaved girl. How'd she learn to curse people out? What did she say to you? Connor asked, equally curious. The idea of the obedient, gentle Eleanor swearing seemed so out of character, he almost suspected his old friend was exaggerating. Let it go, let it go. Harrison was about to speak when Catherine interrupted with a smile. It's been so long since we've all seen each other. Let's talk about something happy. Raising children. We as parents have our own ways of handling it. You're right. On such a wonderful day, let's not dwell on these things. Seeing the couple exchange a look, Connor realized he wouldn't be prying any more information out of them for now. He steered the conversation toward old memories and shared history. People of a certain age love to reminisce, especially with like-minded old friends by their side. They talked for the entire afternoon. It wasn't until Connor's secretary approached and whispered something in his ear that he finally stood up with an apologetic smile. Well, let's call it a day. I have some matters back home I need to attend to. After the new year, Leo, when you're back in the country, we should all get together properly. No problem, Leo Young agreed. It's been too unstable here in the States lately. It feels like World War II every day. If it's not you shooting at me, it's me shooting at you. Once my grandson's passport is sorted, my whole family is moving back. Harrison Hayes also agreed. Then it's settled. Leo, Catherine and I have to stop by the bank. We're flying back tonight, too. We'll see you when you're back in the country. Sounds good, Leo Young said. After a few more pleasantries, he watched the two couples depart. Harrison, wait up. What's the rush? In the estate's parking lot, Connor quick-stepped to catch up with Harrison, draping an arm over his shoulder with a playful look. Harrison knew what was coming. He waved for Catherine to go onto the car, then looked his old friend up and down and said with a smile, You've got that look on your face. You're up to something, aren't you? Spit it out. What could I possibly be up to? Connor chuckled, straightening the lapel of his old friend's suit. It's just been a while. I was thinking, when I'm back at the holidays, you should come over for a get-together. Bring Eleanor, too. We could have a nice family reunion dinner. Harrison had to fly a few times during the holidays, but the thought of spending time with his old friend and his wife and daughter was appealing. He agreed. No problem. I'll be in touch. I gotta get to the bank now. The assets of Chinese Americans are too precarious right now. I need to get this handled. Connor grabbed Harrison's arm. Don't be in such a hurry. You've already made more than enough money. Are you really going to spend your whole life chasing it? You've made plenty back home, so it's easy for you to talk, Harrison said irritably. You know how many billions I've lost this year? If I don't protect this last bit of pocket change, I'll be coming to you for a job. What is it? Say it quick. It's like this. Connor smiled innocently. On the day of our reunion dinner, I'd like to introduce you to someone. You two may have had some friction in the past, but I hope you'll do me a favor and just pretend nothing ever happened that day. How about it? That real estate guy, Dylan Fong? No, his little plot of land is nothing. The tourism guy, Leo Fan? Not him either. He doesn't have the clout. Harrison named several business rivals and entrepreneurs he had clashed with, but Connor shook his head at each one. Then who could it be? What kind of project are you two planning? You're not cutting your old friend in, are you? It's just a potential collaboration, and it's not even certain yet. I just want to bring him along so you can meet. Connor gave a sheepish smile. So, is that a problem for you? When did you become so indecisive? Who is it? Harrison narrowed his eyes, not wanting to agree immediately. After all, for Connor to bring someone to a family reunion dinner, they had to be significant. It couldn't just be a business partner, and it certainly couldn't be a rival with whom Harrison had a history. Oh, come on, he's just a friend. Will you agree or not? You old dog. Harrison. Before Harrison could press further, the Bentley's rear window smoothly descended. Catherine leaned her head out, gave him a warm smile, and tapped the watch on her wrist. All right, I'm coming. You and your endless meddling, Harrison grumbled, shooting Connor an exasperated look. He figured his old friend was just making a big deal out of nothing to keep him there. In the business world, friendships and rivalries were fluid. It wasn't uncommon to team up with a competitor for a profitable venture. Harrison certainly wouldn't refuse. As the Bentley sped away, Vivian came to her husband's side and asked nervously, "What did he say?" Connor shrugged. "I didn't even dare say the name. What could I say?" "Then what do we do?" Vivian was helpless. "Connor, we can't drag this out. Harrison is going to find out Leo is our son eventually." "I know." Connor sighed deeply, then muttered to himself in frustration. Of all people, why did it have to be Eleanor Hayes? That boy, he really knows how to make trouble for his old man. On the morning of January 25th, the holiday spirit was growing stronger. There were hardly any snowplow operators on the streets, and the trees lining the roads were adorned with bright red lanterns. Leo drove back to the sisters' apartment complex, planning to have an early reunion dinner with his family. During the holidays, Leo had to take Lily Reed home, spend New Year's with his landlady, and also take Khloe Miller back to her grandparents' farm. In the days leading up to New Year's, he also had to attend several promotional press conferences for his company's new TV series. If it weren't for his enhanced stamina and physique, the jam-packed schedule would have left him mentally and physically exhausted. With the holidays approaching, the complex was sparsely populated. The parking lot, aside from a few snow-covered zombie cars, was mostly empty. Most of the residents had already driven home to be with their families. Leo parked his car and crunched through the snow toward the elevator. He wasn't carrying anything. There was no need for such formalities with his own family. Besides, the living expenses he gave his adoptive parents were enough to support them and the sisters in luxury for several lifetimes. He reached his parents' floor. The hallway was just as quiet and deserted. If not for the holiday decorations on every door, one might think it was an abandoned building. As he reached his front door and was about to knock, it creaked open from the inside. Sophie stood there, beaming at him, her eyes filled with an unconcealable joy. "Bro, you're back. Talk about good timing. How'd you know I was about to knock?" Leo smiled, ruffling Sophie's hair. "It's called a sixth sense. Even if we're not related by blood, we've lived together for so many years," Sophie said playfully, bending down to get him a pair of slippers from the shoe cabinet. She didn't want to tell him that she'd been standing by the window, watching him get out of the car, walk into the building, and take the elevator up. "I guess so," Leo agreed, looking over Sophie, whom he hadn't seen in a while. He noticed she seemed to have grown a little taller, her figure had filled out nicely, and her pretty face was even more beautiful. Her fair legs, in particular, were long, straight, and flawless without any leggings, like polished ivory. The saying about how much a girl changes is no joke. It wasn't just an old wives' tale. "Bro, what are you looking at?" Sophie seemed to have eyes in the back of her head. Though she was bent over, rummaging in the shoe cabinet, she tilted her head slightly, winking at Leo with a sly, fox-like smile. "Looking at what?" Leo asked innocently, his gaze shifting from her legs to the inside of the cabinet. "You know what?" Sophie placed the slippers at his feet, then reached up and gently poked his chest. "Bad brother," she chided. "Ahem, stop messing around." Leo's face flushed slightly as he rubbed his nose and stepped inside to change his shoes. "You're back." Sharon, hearing the noise, came out of the kitchen with a spatula in her hand. Seeing only Leo changing his shoes at the door, she peeked out hopefully at the still open door. "That brat. Why didn't he bring Lily with him? I haven't seen that girl in ages." "Yeah, I'm back." Leo changed his shoes and, hearing Sharon's inner thoughts, immediately started spinning a story. "I was going to bring Lily over for dinner today, but she felt too shy. You know how she is, so timid around new people." "Oh." Seeing the door close with no one else coming in, Sharon looked at her son with a hint of disappointment. She really liked that sweet, simple girl from the country. Unfortunately, because of Khloe, Sharon didn't dare openly ask Lily to come over for dinner with Leo. Sigh. If only they could both be my daughters-in-law. Sharon sighed softly and returned to the kitchen. "Don't worry, Mom. I'll work on it." Leo thought to himself. "Bro, being a player isn't easy, is it?" Sophie teased, gloating a little. Although she had promised Leo not to meddle in his affairs, Sophie was a classic egoist with an incredibly possessive streak. She would love nothing more than for Leo's harem to go up in flames, leaving her, as the last one standing, the ultimate winner. "Don't talk nonsense. How am I a player? It's just pure love," Leo said with a wry smile, though he knew she had a point. The easiest part of being a player was always the initial, ambiguous flirting stage. Once it reached the point of meeting parents or talking about marriage, all those carefree days would come back to bite you. And Leo wasn't a love him and leave him type. He wanted to be Santa Claus to have them all. The degree of difficulty was astronomical. Leo tossed his coat on the sofa and, seeing the living room empty, looked at Sophie. "Where's the old man? And your sister?" "Dad has a work dinner. Probably won't be back tonight." "As for my sister..." Sophie glanced toward the kitchen where Sharon was, then whispered, "Mom laid into her last night. She's been hiding under the covers ever since and won't come out." Leo was curious. "Laid into her about what?" Sophie shrugged and explained, "It's because she insists on joining the girls' basketball team. Mom won't let her." And then they got into a fight. Riley had never been particularly interested in academics. Her personality was more like most boys, carefree and straightforward, with interests in gaming and sports. Sharon had told her countless times to focus on her studies. Growing up, Sharon had confiscated countless game consoles, basketballs, and ping-pong paddles. Since starting high school, Riley had developed a passion for basketball. Coupled with her natural talent, she wanted to join the team. Sharon, however, was staunchly against it, convinced that playing with boys would involve physical contact, which she found improper. They had argued about it more times than Leo could count. "I'll go talk to her." Leo thought for a moment and walked toward the sister's room. He pushed the door open to find Riley huddled under her blanket, thumbs flying across her phone keyboard, with only her fair feet sticking out at the edge of the bed. "What are you writing?" "So focused," Leo said, casually lying down beside her and peering at the lines of text on her screen. He read it out loud, word for word. "Why can't parents ever support their children's dreams? It's 2024, why are there still?" The voice beside her made Riley jump, and she quickly hid her phone. When she realized it was Leo, her nose tingled, and all the grievances of the past few days welled up inside her. "Bro, don't cry. Big brother's here." Leo sat up and, half-jokingly, opened his arms like he used to when she was little. "Come on, give your brother a hug." Normally, Riley would have arrogantly shot back with, "Get lost. You fucking boomer." But this time, with red-rimmed eyes, she crawled out from under the covers and threw herself into his arms, sobbing. Holding his crying sister, feeling the firm strength in her arms and the softness of her body, Leo's heart skipped a beat. My little sister can't be this cute. Riley might have a pretty face, but her mischievous personality often got her into trivial trouble. She was far more rambunctious than boys her age, and she'd been a constant source of headaches for their parents. As a child, she was frequently scolded, and Leo, always protective of the two girls, would often take the blame for the messes she made at home or outside. Feeling unappreciated by her parents, Riley had clung to Leo since childhood, becoming his little shadow from kindergarten onward. Whenever she felt wronged or upset, she would come to him with a runny nose and tear-streaked face, pouring her heart out. But now, the little girl who used to call him brother at every turn had grown into a young woman with a soft, well-developed figure. And she was in his arms, crying and seeking comfort just like when she was a child. "1. You're a grown woman now, crying all the time. Who's going to take care of you when you're out in the real world? Not recommended 2. So what if you can't play basketball? What's there to cry about? Forget Mom. I don't want you playing either. I don't want you getting all physical with other guys. Strongly recommended 3. You're crying over something like this? At this rate, you'll be crying every day. Not recommended option 2 analysis. Expressing your possessive concerns will make a girl who relies on you completely ecstatic. All right, it's not a big deal. So what if you can't play basketball? What's there to cry about?" Leo gently patted Riley's back and said matter-of-factly, "Forget Mom. I don't want you playing either. What's the point of roughhousing with a bunch of sweaty guys?" Riley looked up in surprise, her tear-filled eyes wide with disbelief. "Bro, you don't want me to play either?" "Duh." Sophie, who had quietly closed the door, whispered an explanation. "Bro doesn't want you getting all physical with other guys. He gets jealous just thinking about it. Can't you tell?" As soon as she said it, Riley's tears stopped abruptly. A blush crept up her cheeks. She looked at Leo tentatively and asked in a small voice, Is that true?" Leo didn't confirm it, instead changing the subject. "Let me ask you something. Are there guys on the girls' basketball team? Is your school running some kind of co-ed league?" "No, both teams are all girls," Riley quickly explained. "It's just that during practice, we ask a few guys from the boys' team to help us train, since some of them are really good." "Oh." Leo nodded thoughtfully, then stated firmly, "Then you're not allowed. I forbid you from practicing with other guys. Sophie, you keep an eye on her at school. Don't let her practice with any boys." With these two, Leo didn't need tricks or clever words. A direct, domineering expression of his possessiveness was all that was required. So bossy. How are you any different from Mom?" Although Leo had also rejected her passion, Riley wasn't the least bit angry. Instead, she gave a shy huff, lowered her head, and fidgeted with the blanket, a happy smile occasionally gracing her lips. Ding! Riley Shepard's affinity for the host has increased by 10 points. Current affinity, 100. It can no longer increase. The target already considers the host the most important person in her life. Don't like it? Come bite me, Leo said smugly, getting up. Who made me your big brother? Oomph. You're not even our real brother. What's so great about that? Riley pouted. Hee hee, it's precisely because I'm not your real brother that it's so great, Leo confessed brazenly. Otherwise, why would I care who you play basketball with? Riley couldn't handle his shameless comment. Blushing, she mumbled, you damn player. Since we're not related, it makes it easier for you to make a move, right? Exactly. Sophie chimed in from the side, then quickly wrapped her arms around Leo's waist. Bro, can we go out this afternoon? It's been so long since you took us anywhere. Sure, I'm free this afternoon anyway. Leo didn't refuse, his hand instinctively resting on Sophie's waist. So shameless, Riley muttered with mixed emotions, watching the two act like a couple. It was unclear if she was scolding her coquettish sister or anything-goes fake brother. What are you three doing in there? Sophie, come help me set the table, Sharon's voice called from outside, startling all three of them. Leo hastily dropped his hand from Sophie's waist, and Sophie quickly put some distance between them. Even if they had a tacit understanding of their relationship, it was still something they had to keep hidden from their parents. Coming, Sophie answered guiltily, then nudged Riley with her chin. Sis, get up and let's eat. Bro is taking us out this afternoon. With that, Sophie skipped out of the room. As she was closing the door, she peeked her head back in and gave a meaningful warning. Bro, we're at home, and Mom's right outside. Don't even think about doing anything bad to our little mascot. Get out, go to hell. Leo raised his hand as if to swat her, while Riley, face beet red, raised a fist. Sophie just giggled and closed the door. Get up, get dressed. Leo ruffled Riley's hair, teasing her with a smile. And wipe your nose. You're a big girl now, still crying like a baby. Look what you did to my shirt. It's covered in your snot. None of your business. Serves you right, Riley huffed, turning her head away snobbishly. Leo was used to her saying one thing and meaning another. He ruffled her hair a few more times and started for the door. Wait! Leo heard the rustle of blankets behind him. The next second, he felt a soft touch from behind as a pair of strong arms wrapped firmly around his waist. Leo held Riley's hands and reminded her with a smile. What is it? If your mom comes in and sees this, I won't be able to explain. Thanks, old man. I like you the most, Riley said, pressing her cheek against his back, her beautiful face lit with a sincere, dependent smile. Still calling me old man? Leo turned around to correct her. Come on, call me brother. What's wrong with you? We're not kids anymore. Riley buried her face in his chest, and after a few shy glances, she couldn't resist his expectant expression and mumbled, soft as a mosquito's buzz, brother. Silly girl. Leo brushed a stray strand of hair from Riley's forehead, getting a clearer view of her beautiful, blushing face. He raised a hand to cup her rosy cheek, and, as she watched in surprise, leaned down. Bro, you're bad. What were you two dawdling in the room for? Sharon, setting the table, glanced at Leo and Riley as they emerged from the sisters' room one after the other. What do you think? You're always interfering with her life. I had to go in and smooth things over, Leo retorted from the sofa, feeling triumphant. I'm telling you, Mom, she's almost 20. You can't keep treating her like a kid. 20? Does she look like she's almost 20? Sharon pointed an accusing finger. A girl who's so carefree all the time. The other day, she was building a snowman in the courtyard with a bunch of little kids. If Mrs. Collinford downstairs hadn't told me, I never would have known. I swear, she's never going to get married. Usually, when Sharon lectured her like this, Riley would just fume in resentful silence, occasionally retorting when she couldn't hold it in. But now, she didn't seem to hear a word. Her head was bowed, too mortified to look at Sharon or her sister. Her face was flushed, her soft lips pressed tightly together as her mind replayed the scene from moments ago. Sophie brought a plate of fruit from the kitchen. Noticing the strange reactions of Leo and Riley, she immediately guessed they'd been up to something in the room and smiled with a mix of resignation and relief. Though she felt a pang of jealousy, Sophie was very tolerant of her silly older sister. Mom, what century are we in? Don't you know people online are calling out parents like you for pressuring their kids to get married? Sophie placed the fruit bowl on the coffee table and sat next to Leo. My sister and I haven't even graduated yet. Why are you always thinking about marrying us off? Isn't it better for us to stay home with you and Dad? Please, your father and I would like to live a few more years, Sharon said, shaking her head. We finally got one of you out of the house. Don't you two torture me. Your father and I dream of having the house to ourselves. Hey, Mom, you just reminded me. Leo seized the opportunity, his expression dead serious. A while back, a business partner couldn't pay his advertising fees, so he gave me a townhouse downtown instead. I feel like it's just sitting there empty. Why don't we have the girls move in after the holidays? Moving is such a hassle. Sharon was reluctant. Her earlier words were just a momentary complaint. Deep down, she wanted her daughters to stay home with her. The son she had raised for so long wasn't her biological child and could return to his birth family at any time. If her two biological daughters also left, she would feel terribly lonely. Despite her complaints, Sharon cared deeply for them. Even if they found boyfriends, she would never allow them to marry far away. Otherwise, when Leo returned to the Sterling family, she and David would truly become empty nesters. What hassle! We could just hire a moving company to handle everything, Sophie chimed in, seeming to read Leo's mind. Bro told me about that house. It's right near our school. If you and Dad miss us, you could drive over any time. Leo shot her a surprised look. Sophie simply smiled back at him. Right, bro. Right. Besides, the property taxes and HOA fees are over $10,000 a month, Leo added, building on a lie. If no one lives there, that money's just going down the drain. Are you serious? What kind of house has fees of over $10,000 a month? Sharon was shocked. Her own apartment's HOA fee was only $200 a month. She'd never even heard of a management fee. Well, it's in a prime school district. That price is actually on the low side, Leo said earnestly. If my accountant hadn't mentioned it the other day, I wouldn't have even known I'd been paying those fees for almost a year. Oh my, why didn't you say so sooner? Sharon was frugal. The thought of her son wasting so much money pained her. Then don't wait for the holidays. You two can move over in a couple of days. Okay. Sophie nodded obediently, then shot Leo a look that said, I knew it. Riley still seemed lost in her own world, not really hearing what the three were discussing. Every so often, she'd touch her slightly moist lips, as if savoring a memory, then shyly glance at Leo. I have to ask, Mom, are you really okay with me and my sister moving into Leo's house? Sophie asked with a smile. You know what he's like. He's a player, and we're not even related. Hearing Sophie so brazenly expose him to Sharon, Leo froze for a second before realizing she was testing Sharon's reaction. Ah, as if your brother would stoop that low, Sharon scoffed dismissively, then looked at Leo. Hey, Sterling family's kid, you don't have any ideas like that, do you? One, why wouldn't I? We're not related by blood anyway. Aren't you worried about them marrying far away? It would be better for them to just stay with their big brother. I could take care of them for life. Recommended 2. Don't joke like that. Even though we're not related, I've always seen them as my little sisters. Recommended 3. Immediately transfer her 2 dowries and get on both knees to declare. Mother-in-law, please accept this son-in-law's vow. Recommended option analysis. All 3 are high-quality answers. Please select the one you believe is optimal. Why wouldn't I? We're not related by blood anyway. Leo wrapped his arms around a beaming Sophie and a shy, nervous Riley. Aren't you worried about them marrying far away? It's better for them to stay with their big brother. I can take care of them for life. Sharon looked at Leo with a girl on each arm, then at her daughters, who didn't seem to mind at all. Her heart skipped a beat. She felt like she was letting the fox into the henhouse. But not knowing if Leo was joking, she played along. Fine by me. Like you said, you 3 aren't related. If they're willing to be with you, what can I, their mother, do? All right, Sterling kid, don't say I'm extorting you, Sharon said, clapping her hands. Sophie's dowry is $1 million. Riley's is $500,000. Pick which one you want, transfer the money, and you can take her away. Why am I only worth $500,000? Riley protested, slightly offended. Done. A thought struck Leo. He quickly pulled out his phone and, using the account number he used for their living expenses, tapped away furiously. A moment later, Sharon's phone dinged. She looked at it, then stared at Leo in disbelief. You brat. What's the meaning of transferring me money for 2 dowries? It's a package deal, isn't it? Weren't you just rushing to marry them off? Leo said without a hint of shame. I'm paying you now. If no one wants them in the future, they can just live with me. Huh. Do whatever you want. If they're willing, what can I say? Sharon, assuming Leo was joking, gave a dismissive snort. She treated the money as more living expenses, not an actual bride price, and took the opportunity to be sarcastic. If you break things off with Khloe and Lily right now, clean up your act, you can take these 2 whenever you want. Good riddance. You've already paid, after all. A long time ago, Sharon had entertained the idea of Leo ending up with one of the sisters. She cared for both her daughters and didn't want either of them to marry far away or to someone else, only seeing them a few times a year. If one of them was with Leo, she could see them practically every day. They could live like a family without things getting too awkward. The only strange part would be the shift in their relationship after so many years of living as siblings. But since it didn't violate any moral or legal lines, Sharon had seriously considered it. If either of the girls had been willing, she would have sent them off to get a marriage license with Leo in a heartbeat. Now that Leo had girlfriends, plural, she wouldn't dare push her daughters into his complicated life, even if they both seemed to cling to him. She often teased the eager sisters that they hadn't seized their chance earlier and now had to watch Leo with other women. I'll pass on that. I'm a loyal person. How could I do something so fickle? Leo gave a sheepish smile and sat up straight, earning a disdainful eye roll from both sisters. So you're planning on playing two girls at once? It's almost 2025. Aren't you tired of all this deception? Can't you just choose Lily? Sharon let her true thoughts slip out. After a few seconds of awkward eye contact, she blushed and corrected herself. Can't you just choose one of them before they graduate? Talk to them, end things amicably. Even if you can't be a couple, you can still be friends. Do you really want both of them? Are you trying to become a king with a harem? Love isn't that simple for our generation, Leo grumbled. Friends? If I broke it off with either of them, I'd be lucky if she didn't curse me out. And what's this about playing two girls at once? Leo had always hated that phrase. He muttered, I just haven't introduced the two captains of my ships yet. Eventually, we're all going to be on the same boat. We just haven't worked out the logistics. What? You're going to have them meet? You're going to expose this whole mess yourself? Do you have a death wish? Sharon was floored. Even the sisters stared at him in disbelief. Forget how Khloe and Lily would react to Leo's cheating and to each other. As soon as their parents found out he was stringing both their daughters along, they would undoubtedly join forces against him. Oh, come on. Don't be so dramatic. The holidays are almost here. Let's not talk about such unlucky things. Leo waved his hand dismissively, not wanting to share his plans with Sharon. He glanced at the wall clock and changed the subject. Why isn't the old man back yet? I'm starving, and I have things to do tonight. Sharon wanted to press him, but she saw it was getting late and the food on the table would get cold. Your dad probably isn't coming back tonight. Let's eat. But Leo, I'm warning you, Sharon said with grave seriousness. If you insist on going through with this crazy plan to make those two girls get along before they graduate, and you cause them to start fighting, you go ask your real father for help. Your Aunt Sharon and Uncle David are just ordinary people. We can't handle the mess you're making. Only your real father can help you. Leo's mouth twitched. That was a new title. He smiled and asked, So, Aunt Sharon, if I manage to get them both to accept each other, and you end up with more grandchildren to hold than any other grandparent, you wouldn't object, would you? From now on, I'm not getting involved in your messes. If you need anything, go to your real father. Your Uncle David and I are just simple folk. We're not getting on your pirate ship. Sharon gave the earnest-looking Leo a surprised glance. After a moment of hesitation, she neither agreed nor refused, simply got up and walked to the kitchen, muttering under her breath. Object? Hell no. I love them both. I wish they could both be my daughters-in-law. Around 4 in the afternoon, in the Kings Heights Villa community near Lincoln High School, Leo was giving the sisters a tour of the 4-bedroom townhouse he had just bought. Since he'd already made the claim, Leo didn't want to waste any time. Right after lunch, he brought the sisters over and officially took possession of the house he told Sharon about. It was a 4-bedroom townhouse, conveniently close to Lincoln High, a prime piece of real estate in the heart of the city and a top school district. Sophie wasn't particularly interested in the house itself, but the thought of living here with her sister and Leo, without their parents around, made her ecstatic. She was already upstairs, planning the layout of their 3 rooms. After a tour of the villa, Leo and Riley went out to the lawn behind the private garage. Bro, is this house really in my name? Riley asked nervously, gazing at the exquisitely decorated townhouse behind them. If Mom finds out, she's going to lecture me again. I'm the one paying for it. What can she say to you? Leo said proudly, then added in a more serious tone. You might be a little clumsy sometimes, but you're the older sister. You have to take care of your little sister when I'm not around. She'd never let me take care of her. She'd probably just find me annoying, Riley said, glancing at her sister, who was busy recording a video in the living room. Still, she was happy about Leo's vote of confidence. But then, remembering what he had done in her room that afternoon, the inexperienced young woman blushed and mumbled, You kissed me earlier. That was my first kiss. Leo quickly stopped her. Hey, don't say things like that. What? Are you trying to deny it? Riley glared at him, her face beet red. I kissed you, yes, but you're not my sister, Leo corrected her seriously. If anyone overheard, they'd think I was some kind of monster. Go to hell. Riley swung at him, half furious, half embarrassed. Leo caught her wrist and pulled her into his arms. Good thing we're not related, he said smugly. Otherwise, I couldn't hold you like this so openly. Come on, call me brother. Oh, what are you doing? Riley shyly looked away. If he had asked her before, she might have reluctantly obliged. But now that they knew they weren't related, and given their current intimate embrace, it felt different. It felt like a boyfriend forcing his girlfriend to call him. Something else. A few days before New Year's Day, Leo and the cast of his new series were swept up in a whirlwind of grand press conferences and promotional events. After the intensive marketing blitz, they decided to release the new series on the second day of the new year, avoiding the holiday specials, simultaneously launching it across all major streaming platforms. With his work obligations wrapped up and 2 days left before New Year's, Leo drove to Waterfront Park. He parked nearby and walked into the square alone, hands stuffed in his pockets. The temperature had plummeted in recent days, with fat snowflakes drifting down daily. But the world-famous Waterfront Park was still bustling with crowds and vibrant energy. People with snow-dusted hats were everywhere, phones and cameras out, snapping pictures of the iconic white stag sign. After waiting a few minutes, a pair of cool, fair hands covered Leo's eyes from behind. A playful, sweet voice followed. Guess who? A smile touched Leo's lips. He deliberately guessed wrong. Lily? What are you doing here? Weren't you at home packing with Isabel? Wrong, guess again. Could it be Khloe? I thought you were at home binge-watching shows with Maya. What are you doing at the waterfront? The voice behind him grew annoyed. Fuck you, Leo Shepherd. If you don't guess right this time, I'm gouging your eyes out. Ha ha, you fucking bitch. Leo laughed, turning to face a pouting Eleanor Hayes. Her cheeks were puffed out as she glared at him, thoroughly miffed. Eleanor was wearing a puffy white down jacket, a round white hat, and a black and white checkered scarf. Her stunningly beautiful, albeit irritated, face was nestled between the jacket and scarf, revealing only her clear eyebrows and a slightly red, delicate nose. When she cursed, puffs of mist escaped her rosy lips. Damn it, you were just trying to piss me off? My voice is so distinctive. Eleanor punched him lightly, then quickly retracted her hand into her sleeve. She had always been sensitive to the cold. Don't like it? Come bite me, Leo said with a cheeky grin, instinctively adjusting her scarf. It's not as cold as yesterday, is it? You're still cold dressed this warmly. Eleanor's clear eyes blinked a few times. A thought seemed to occur to her, and an obsessed smile spread across her face. The look sent a shiver down Leo's spine. He knew this bastard was getting into character. She slowly unzipped her jacket, stepped closer to Leo, and then pulled the jacket wide open. I'm not wearing anything under. Shit. Leo jumped, his heart pounding. He quickly pulled her jacket shut and fumbled to zip it back up, his face flushed as he scolded her. Damn it, do you have a death wish? It's freezing out here, and you pull a stunt like this? After scolding her, he nervously glanced around at the passersby. Fortunately, everyone was busy admiring the view, and no one had noticed the bizarre couple. He. Eleanor giggled, completely unfazed. Surprised? Shocked? Serves you right for making me mad, you bastard. Damn it, and you're proud of it, Leo said irritably, pinching her soft, slightly cold cheek. Let's go. I have clothes in the car. Go put something on. Don't play exhibitionist with me. Eleanor hooked her arm through his sweetly, smiling as she retorted, Shit, I thought you'd like it. I froze my ass off for this. Like my ass, Leo grumbled. We'll talk about it at the hotel tonight. Tisish, your mouth says no, but your body says yes. Eleanor snorted, clinging to his arm as she watched the crowds, a blush slowly rising on her face as she thought about her attire. Damn, this is so exciting. I really should have agreed to walk around in the snow with him last time. Leo. The weather had been terrible for days. Isabel and Lily, worried Leo would catch a cold, had been nagging him like mothers to dress warmly, frequently leaving extra layers for him in his car. After Eleanor put on one of Leo's fleece-lined shirts, they walked hand in hand to a well-known nearby aquarium. Tap, tap, tap. Eleanor seemed to be visiting an aquarium for the first time. Every time a beautiful fish swam past the glass in front of her, she would run over to admire it face to face. Damn, that's a huge hawksbill, Eleanor murmured, her eyes wide with awe at the creature swimming before them. A hawksbill? Leo glanced at the turtle-like animal. Isn't that just a sea turtle? You're an idiot. A sea turtle is a sea turtle. A hawksbill is a hawksbill. They're two different species, Eleanor lectured seriously. And there are several types of sea turtles. This one is probably a hawksbill sea turtle. Wow, spoken like a true brainiac. Leo was impressed. Eleanor was genuinely knowledgeable. Seeing her almost giddy excitement, Leo asked curiously, I have to ask, is this your first time at an aquarium? No, I came here many times when I was little. My dad even owns a huge aquarium in Korea, Eleanor said, clasping her hands behind her back as she strolled forward, admiring the fish. Her elegant posture was every bit the part of a wealthy heiress. Leo pouted. Then why are you acting so thrilled? I thought this was your first time. I don't know, Eleanor said, stopping to gaze at the colorful fish. She looked at the blurry reflection of Leo in the glass and murmured thoughtfully, maybe it's because of who I'm with. Before, it was always bodyguards and nannies who brought me. Now it's you bastard. Oh, I'm touched, Leo teased. I've noticed you're getting more sentimental lately. You've even moved a reprobate like me. So, does this mean you're about to tell me you like me? But now, she just stared quietly at the swimming fish, a faint smile playing on her lips. As Leo was lost in the sight of her beautiful profile, she gently took his hand, her cool, soft fingers lacing with his. You guessed it. Leo snapped back to reality. He looked at Eleanor, who was smiling at him, her face full of happiness and joy. Her voice was calm but sweet as she confessed. Leo, I like you. I kept wondering if I was just into the sex, if I only liked that part of things and wasn't really interested in you as a person. But then I realized, every time I think about you, I feel happy. I genuinely care about you, whether we have sex or not. I think that must be what it feels like to like someone. After her sincere explanation, Eleanor confessed again, her voice frank and open. Leo, I really like you. Even if you never have sex with me again, I'll still like you. It was as if the fish in the tank were moved by her heartfelt confession. A school that had been swimming in an orderly fashion suddenly scattered, transforming into a kaleidoscope of color darting in front of them. In reality, the large hawksbill turtle had swum by, startling the smaller fish. 1. You like me, but it's not going anywhere. I have too many girlfriends. Let's just keep things the way they are. You're only after my body, and honestly, so am I. Let's not cross that line. Not recommended 2. Don't be so serious. I'm not used to it. Besides, you're talking like I've gone soft. If I really stop having sex with you, you'd be upset. Strongly recommended 3. Why waste words? She's ready to go. Find a spot with no cameras and get around in. Strongly recommended. Option 2 analysis. Her overly proper and stable mental state needs to be complemented by a soul with a wicked sense of humor. Don't be so serious. I'm not used to it. Looking at the earnest and sincere Eleanor, Leo smiled slightly and squeezed her cool, fair hand. Besides, you're talking like I've gone soft. If I really stopped having sex with you, you'd be upset. Damn it. Does it not embarrass you to say things like that to a girl? Eleanor stared at the tactless man before her. In this romantic atmosphere, he was spewing the most crass lines, yet he still had that same carefree attitude, a world away from the polished, cultured young men her parents introduced her to. But for some reason, the more nonchalant and dismissive Leo was, the more she liked him, the more she wanted to throw herself at him just to get his attention. Ding! Eleanor Hayes' affinity for the host has increased by 5 points. Current affinity, 100. It can no longer increase. The target already considers the host the most important person in her life. Embarrassed, Leo suddenly burst out laughing. He reached out and tugged at the zipper of her down jacket, revealing a sliver of snow-white skin before quickly zipping it back up. I mean, you're walking around without any clothes on under your jacket. You have the nerve to talk about being embarrassed. You don't get it. This is about my hobbies, Eleanor retorted, flustered. Besides, I'm not showing anyone else, only you. If you don't say anything, who's going to know? You're ridiculous. Her logic completely defeated Leo. He decided not to argue. All right, let's go. I'm starving. Let's get something to eat. Okay, I want to go to the Steamy Pot, Eleanor said excitedly. TikTok has been pushing it on my feed nonstop, but I've never been. I hear they have that face-changing performance. I forgot to see it when I was in Texas, so this is perfect. The Steamy Pot. Leo pulled out his phone to check for nearby locations. It's Saturday and a holiday weekend. The wait is going to be super long. How about somewhere else? I'm really craving the Steamy Pot. And who knows when this bastard will have time to hang out with me again. Eleanor thought for a moment, then smiled nonchalantly. Okay, whatever you want. What do you feel like eating? Then let's go to the Steamy Pot. I'm kind of craving it now, too, Leo said with a smile, showing her the reservation confirmation on his phone. I booked us a spot. The wait is only about half an hour. By the time we drive over, it should be our turn. Damn it. Why do you always have to tease me? Eleanor punched him playfully, then noticed a dim corner up ahead. She glanced at the security camera above them, then pointed to the corner and suggested excitedly, "Leo, want to go over there for a quick round?" "There's no one around." Leo refused righteously. "A round of what? I'm not that kinky. Go play with yourself. You won't corrupt my pure heart." They drove to a popular branch of the Steamy Pot, and just as Leo predicted, the entrance was packed with waiting customers. A host was calling out numbers over a loudspeaker. Seeing new customers arrive, the host quickly brought them 2 round stools, poured them some hot water, and enthusiastically handed Eleanor a few small bags of snacks. The service at the Steamy Pot was, as always, top-notch. Leo handed Eleanor the paper ticket the host gave him. "Here, we're number 168. Only 7 or 8 tables ahead of us." "Oh, so this is how it works. That's interesting." Eleanor took the slip of paper, fascinated. She looked around at the other waiting customers, a novel feeling bubbling up inside her. She carefully folded the paper and held it in her hand. "What's so interesting about waiting in line?" Leo thought. "It's freezing out here." Of course, he kept the thought to himself. He knew Eleanor had never experienced these everyday, down-to-earth things, which was why she found waiting in line so amusing. He also noticed that even sitting on a simple stool, she maintained the posture of a well-bred lady, her back perfectly straight, hands resting on her thighs, her clear eyes taking in the bustling mall environment with curiosity and excitement. "What? You want to get your nails done?" Leo noticed her staring at the nail station by the entrance. "We got time. Why don't you go get manicure?" "I've never had one," Eleanor said, a little embarrassed. She had never even worn nail polish, let alone tried any fancy beauty services. All the more reason to try it. Seeing her interest was piqued, Leo took her hand and led her to the nail station. The staff of the Steamy Pot were always incredibly friendly. The nail technician, seeing such a beautiful girl approach, was especially enthusiastic. "Wow, you're so beautiful. Prettier than any of those celebrities." "Yes, I know," Eleanor replied, a little nervously, her gaze fixed on the array of nail polish bottles. "Wow, she's so full of herself," the technician thought, taken aback. She took another look at Eleanor's face. "Okay, if I were that pretty, I'd be even more arrogant." The technician asked warmly, "So what kind of style are you looking for?" Seeing Eleanor's indecision, Leo stepped in. "My girlfriend isn't picky. You can just pick something that suits her." The technician offered a suggestion. "Okay, your girlfriend's hands are very fair. How about this crystal style? Do you like it?" Leo, clueless about nail aesthetics, bent down to ask Eleanor. "I like it, but..." Eleanor glanced at the polished bottle, then at her own clear nails, and said hesitantly, "If I get this done, will I still be able to help you out tonight? Won't it scratch?" "Leo, hey." "Nail technician. Question mark. Miss, your hand are gorgeous. If you were a hand model, companies would be fighting over you. I don't need to. I'm not short on cash. Though if they wanted to make a mold of me, that might be..." "Ouch. Damn it, Leo, why did you pinch me?" "Well, you really are stunning. Prettier than any influencer or celebrity. What kind of skincare do you use?" "I don't use any of that fancy stuff. And a lot of people tell me that." "You're not the first." The employees at the Steamy Pot were known for being chatty, especially the nail technicians, who were skilled at making their female clients feel welcome and happy. But this technician had apparently never dealt with a customer quite like Eleanor, brutally honest and occasionally dropping a curse word. No matter what she talked about, Eleanor's replies always had an air of aloof arrogance. If it weren't for her polite tone, the technician would have sworn the rich girl was just showing off. About 15 minutes later, Eleanor's nails were coated in a clear, sparkling polish, with tiny, glittering stars on each one that twinkled in the light. "Wow, so pretty," Eleanor exclaimed, admiring her shiny nails. "It's mainly because your hands are beautiful. Any style would look good on you," the nail tech complimented. "Hee, what do you think, Leo? Do they look good?" Eleanor asked happily, wiggling her fingers in front of his face. "1. You painted your middle finger too? What are you going to do when I'm not around for the next few days?" "Recommended 2. Not bad, they're very pretty. Make sure you get them done for me more often. Your hands are too beautiful to go to waste." "Recommended 3. Ooh, are those little plastic bits on your nails? I bet the texture is great. You'll have to let me try them out tonight." Recommended option analysis. As long as your reply and attitude are not too perfunctory, she will accept it with pleasure. After all, her heart is full of you. "Not bad, they're very pretty. People are right, your hands are too beautiful to go to waste. Make sure you get them done for me more often." Leo took her hand, turning it over curiously. He noticed that, sure enough, her middle fingers were painted. He leaned in and whispered, "You painted your middle finger too? What are you going to do when I'm not around for the next few days?" "Oh crap, I forgot." Eleanor froze for a second, then linked her arm with his and said sweetly, "It's fine. As long as we eat well and have fun tonight. A chill went down Leo's spine. Damn, you really think of me as an animal, don't you? What the hell? I'm beautiful. My body is amazing. Other guys will be lining up for a chance, and you're complaining? Are couples these days this open? Or am I just getting old? Eleanor retorted indignantly. The two of them bantered back and forth with colorful language as they walked into the crowded restaurant, leaving the stunned nail technician behind. The atmosphere inside the Steamy Pot was lively. Despite the freezing weather outside, the restaurant was warm and filled with billowing steam. It was Eleanor's first time in such a bustling, down-to-earth restaurant, and she looked around with wide-eyed curiosity at the unfamiliar sights and services. When she saw a group of waiters surrounding a table, singing and dancing, she quickly tugged on Leo's arm. Leo, what are they doing? I want that too. That's only for people celebrating their birthdays, Leo corrected her. But the host leading them to their table explained, you don't necessarily have to be celebrating a birthday for that service. For $24, you can enjoy it too. That's so cheap, Eleanor was about to agree instantly, but then she seemed to catch herself. She looked at Leo with pleading, puppy dog eyes. Fine, Leo said with a resigned smile. He felt less like he was with his girlfriend and more like he was with a toddler just learning to speak. They followed the host to a table for two. As Leo scanned the QR code to order, Eleanor plopped down in the seat right next to him. The server who came to pour their water noticed the empty seat across from them and asked with a smile, "Are you waiting for more friends to arrive?" "No, it's just the two of us," Leo replied without looking up from the menu. Eleanor, clinging to Leo's arm, explained, "I'm not sitting over there. I'm sitting with my boyfriend." "Oh, I see. You two are so in love," the server said with an envious smile. Eleanor blinked expectantly. "You think so?" "Of course," the server nodded earnestly. This wasn't just business flattery. She could genuinely feel the affection between them. Thank you." Eleanor beamed, and after the server left, another one came by and placed a small hourglass in front of her. Eleanor tilted her head, staring at the purple hourglass. "Is this for me?" "No, miss. It's a timer for your food. We use it to track how long it takes for your dishes to arrive. If we exceed the time limit, the rest of your meal is free." Seeing that Eleanor seemed to really like the hourglass, the server added, "But if you like it, you could buy one for $3. "Leo," Eleanor cooed, hugging his arm again. Leo just nodded repeatedly. Get one. Right away." The server quickly returned with a new, packaged hourglass and handed it to Eleanor. "I love you." Eleanor turned the purple hourglass over in her hands, mesmerized, watching the purple sand trickle down. Leo glanced at her out of the corner of his eye. He noticed something different about the rich girl today. She was as foul-mouthed and shameless as ever, her mind still filled with lewd thoughts, and she was, of course, as beautiful as always. But Leo also noticed she was extra clingy, and her tone of voice was softer, almost syrupy. Her eyes even held a hint of watery tenderness. Leo was an expert at reading women. He could tell what his girlfriends wanted from a single glance, what they were thinking, or even what position they wanted to try next. But when it came to their biology, besides knowing they needed something warm to drink during that time of the month, he was pretty clueless. The next morning, in the hotel room, Leo was woken up by the ringing of his phone. The noise also made Eleanor groan and frown in her sleep. But she was too exhausted from the night before. She simply rolled over, presenting Leo with a smooth, fair back, and didn't wake up. "Damn it, who's being so inconsiderate this early?" Leo mumbled, sitting up. He rummaged through the pile of their clothes and found his vibrating phone. The caller ID read, "Mom." "Ahem, speak of the devil." Leo coughed awkwardly. He stroked Eleanor's smooth back with one hand and answered the call with the other. "Hey, Mom, what's up so early in the morning?" Sharon's frustrated voice came through the line. "Are you crazy or am I? Do you have any idea what time it is?" "Huh." Leo blinked. He realized it was already past 1 in the afternoon. He glanced at the window, where a sliver of winter sunlight was streaming through a gap in the curtains. Sharon scolded him, her voice laced with disappointment. "You brat, which girl's house were you at last night?" Leo lied without batting an eye. "Nowhere. The holidays are coming up, so I took Khloe to get her nails done. We walked around Waterfront Park, and it got too late, so we just got a hotel nearby." "Don't lie to me." Sharon shot back, seeing right through him. "I was on a video call with Khloe all last night. Did you get her nails done with her clone?" Leo started getting dressed, fabricating on the fly. "Oh, my mistake. I was with Lily. Any other questions?" "You little brat. How can you be so shameless?" Sharon was furious. She knew it wasn't Lily either. That girl was too sweet and timid to be the type to drag her boyfriend out for a manicure. Who knew what girl was lying next to him right now? Hey, Mom, don't get so worked up this early, Leo cooed, giving Eleanor's but a playful pat to get her to move so he could grab his shorts from under her. Hey, stop right there. Don't you dare call me Mom, you big shot director, Sharon said, quickly distancing herself. Besides, I'm not your real mother. Your mother is Vivian Sterling, and your father is Connor Sterling. Who am I to be your mom? Leo just smiled. Not my real mom, maybe, but I'll probably still be calling you Mom in the future. After all, those 2 dowries weren't for nothing. All right, Mom, you didn't call this early just to check up on me. What's up? Leo finished dressing, tucked Eleanor back under the covers, and walked to the floor-to-ceiling window, looking out at the distant White Stag sign. If it's nothing, I'm going to hang up. I have to get to the office. It's a busy time. Wait. Sharon stopped him. After a few seconds of hesitation, she said reluctantly, Look, I'm not working today. With the holidays so close, I was planning on taking Lily to the supermarket to buy some things. I need you to drive her over here. Sharon had been deeply impressed by the gentle, sweet-natured girl ever since they first met. In her heart, Lily was the top candidate for her daughter-in-law. But because her all-too-successful son also had Khloe, Sharon never dared to openly admit this. Out of guilt, she also couldn't bring herself to force Leo to choose between the 2 girls. She could only turn a blind eye and pretend nothing was happening. In her mind, both were good girls, and even if she preferred Lily, she wouldn't hurt one to benefit the other. Hearing that Sharon wanted to spend time alone with Lily, Leo refused without a second thought. Mom, I've already bought everything for the holidays. I don't believe you for a second. I talked to Lily last night, and she said she still needed to get things. Or did some other woman buy them for you? Sharon retorted. Leo paused, thinking actually yes. Ahem, I'll ask her, Leo said, rubbing his nose, not agreeing right away. Ask my ass. Lily already agreed. Don't you dare try to pull anything. Sharon cut him off. I want her at my front door within the hour. Otherwise, you'll see what I do to you. Okay, I get it. Leo had no choice but to agree. And another thing, Sharon added, sometime during the holidays, you need to go see Connor Sterling. I've already spoken to them. You're not allowed to skip out. I'm not going. Leo refused flatly. He felt no connection to that family. Going there would just be awkward. Sharon immediately shot back. You dare? Who told you to get into so much trouble? Don't expect any help from me. Go ask your rich real father for help. Mom, Leo whined, trying to appeal to whatever maternal love she had left. Don't mom me, it's annoying. There was a pause on the other end. Then her voice softened with a hint of resignation. Besides, it's a family reunion. Just go clear the air. If it's too much, just have a meal and come back. That's it. I'm hanging up. Click. Ugh, this is a mess. Leo ran a hand through his hair in frustration. He turned around. Eleanor was still sound asleep and wouldn't be waking up anytime soon. He quietly grabbed his car keys, planning to drop Lily off first. He drove back to Willow Creek Estates. Lily was in the shower. It seemed Sharon had already called her. The 2 little girls were playing on the swing set in the yard, with Isabel sitting nearby, looking at her phone with a serious expression. When she looked up at the 2 energetic children, however, her face was full of gentle, maternal love. Leo Gidge. Seeing him, the 2 little girls shouted happily and ran to hug his legs, looking up at him with their adorable faces. Isabel also turned in surprise, a flicker of anxious hope in her eyes. She discreetly put her phone away. Have you 2 finished your winter break homework yet? All you do is play, Leo said, patting their heads. Don't even start. They haven't written a single word, Isabel said with a smile, patting the girls' heads. Come on, go upstairs and do your homework. You can have cake later. Yay. The girls skipped off, leaving the 2 of them alone in the yard. What's wrong? Leo could tell immediately that Isabel had something to say. I'm planning to move back to my old place. I'm not going to live with Lily anymore. As she spoke, Isabel stepped forward and straightened his messy collar. Thinking about it, it's a little inconvenient for us to be living together. Don't do that, Leo protested, taking her hand. Everything's fine. Why would you move out? Isabel looked at him quietly, a playful smile on her lips. Why? Because I'm pregnant. Yeah, right. Leo didn't believe her at all. Stop messing with me. Lily tried that same joke on me last time. I bet she learned it from you. Faced with his skepticism, Isabel didn't offer any explanation. She just kept that faint, lovely smile on her face, her eyes shining with joy. It was only then that Leo's brain caught up. His voice trembled as he asked, Isabel, you're not messing with me, are you? Are you really pregnant? Actually, even the doctor was surprised. He said that given my physical condition, the chances of me getting pregnant should have been practically zero, Isabel explained with a shrug, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. Who knew that when I went to the hospital to pick up mine and Maddie's checkup results, the doctor told me I was almost 2 months along. I thought he was joking. 2 months? Oh my God. Leo stared at Isabel's gently rounded belly, overwhelmed with joy. After a long moment, he had to ask again. No, seriously, Isabel, don't lie to me. Are you really pregnant? TSK. Why would I lie to you about that? Isabel gave him a wry smile. So what are you going to do now? Leo was confused. What do you mean? What am I going to do? The baby. Are we having it or not? Isabel's tone was nonchalant. I'm fine either way. It's really up to you. Personally, I don't recommend adding another little troublemaker to the mix. One, let's not. You know my situation right now. There's another girl lying in my hotel room as we speak. If you have my baby, what am I going to do if my girlfriends find out? Not recommended too. Isabel, at your age, it would be a high-risk pregnancy. I think for your own safety, we shouldn't have this child. Besides, I already think of Maddie as my own daughter. Recommended 3. Damn it, of course we're having it. This is the crystallization of our love. Isabel Vance, I'm warning you, if you have any other ideas, I'll lose my mind. Strongly recommended option 3 analysis. The more nonchalant she acts about something like this, the more she cares about your opinion. All you have to do is, damn it, of course we're having it. This is the crystallization of our love. Before the system could even finish its analysis, Leo declared without hesitation, Isabel Vance, I'm warning you, if you have any other ideas, I'll lose my mind. Isabel was visibly startled by his forceful reaction. She had never seen him so anxious and tense, but a warmth spread through her heart. Stop shouting. A little louder, and Lily will hear you from upstairs. Then let's see how you talk your way out of that. Isabel scolded, then let out a small laugh. You're a grown man, acting like a little kid. Well, it's my first time. I don't have any experience, Leo said, scratching his head sheepishly. Then he began to list his concerns seriously. Isabel, you have to be really careful from now on. No cold drinks, no strenuous activity, you have to eat regularly, don't overwork yourself, and… All right, that's enough. I'm not a first-time mom, you know, Isabel said, amused by his anxiousness. Or did you think Maddie just popped out a rock? This is different. Leo corrected her earnestly. I love Maddie, of course, but this is our first. I'm allowed to be nervous. Ding. Isabel Vance's affinity for the host has increased by 10 points. Current affinity, 100. It can no longer increase. The target already considers you the most important person in her life. Little kid, Isabel murmured, a smile gracing her lips. She then reassured him, don't worry, I know all this. I've already hired the best postpartum doula in the city, and Ms. Lee will be coming over to help too. You just relax and wait for the baby to arrive. Okay. Leo nodded eagerly, gently placing a hand on Isabel's stomach over her fleece top. He asked, his voice filled with wonder, oh my God, Isabel, when the baby's born, does that mean I'm going to be a dad? What do you think? If you're not the dad, are you going to be the mom? Isabel covered her mouth and laughed. Are you so excited you've forgotten your own name? My last name is Shepherd, Leo answered readily, then used his divine eye ability to look at her details. Name, Isabel Vance. Gender, female. Age, 38. Appearance, 9 height, 5'6" weight, 128 lbs. Hobbies, yoga, shopping, bridge measurements, 35-24-37. Physical condition, pregnant. Fetal indicators are all healthy. Affinity for host, 100. Cannot be increased further. Social status, in a relationship. Current mood, excited, looking forward to the future. Current location, Willow Creek Estates, Building A, private courtyard. Intimate encounters, 120. Confirming that Isabel was truly pregnant, Leo added with conviction. And this baby is going to have my last name too. After learning about Isabel's pregnancy, Leo was completely out of it for the entire drive to his parents' place with Lily. His mind was consumed with the news. What's wrong? Lily asked from the passenger seat, blinking worriedly at the distracted Leo. Is something wrong at work? It's nothing. Leo faked a yawn. Just tired from work lately. I'll be fine after a nap. Lily looked at him with sympathy. Then let me drive. I got my license a while ago, so I can drive on the road now. You can rest in the passenger seat. No, it's fine, Leo refused. The roads are slick from snow. You're a new driver. You wouldn't be able to handle these conditions. Oh, Lily looked dejected, but then she mustered her courage. She shifted her legs, clad in thick white fleece-lined stockings, closer to Leo's right hand and suggested shyly, then, do you want to touch my leg? You said before that touching something while you drive helps you stay awake. Hee, such a thoughtful co-pilot. Leo gave her a satisfied thumbs up. But just as his hand was about to close around her thigh, the image of a pregnant Isabel flashed through his mind. He retracted his hand as if he'd been shocked, a pang of guilt rising in his chest. He was surprised at himself. He was supposed to be a player. Why would Isabel's pregnancy make him feel this way? This was totally out of character. What's wrong? Lily sensed that Leo was acting strangely today. Nothing, the road conditions are bad today, Leo said, placing his right hand firmly back on the steering wheel. Have I gained weight recently? I knew I shouldn't have eaten that piece of cake, but it felt like such a waste to throw it out. Does Leo think my body is out of shape? Besides, you're wearing stockings. It doesn't feel as good, Leo added with a smile, hearing her inner self-criticism. I'll give you a proper inspection tonight. Normally, Lily would have blushed and turned to look out the window. But this time, she reached down and rolled the white fleece stocking down her thigh, revealing a large patch of smooth, fair skin. She looked down, her face red, and said in a tiny voice, Is this okay now?